to 7 o'clock.
On the button.
Plus, you could always look on that right there. It's 7 o'clock.
We should all do a whole podcast with accents.
Hey, don't forget you gotta pull your mic really close to your mouth.
Yeah, this
Okay.
thing keeps.
But I think we're
Welcome to the mics, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the podcast.
you're gonna finish your dinner real quick.
Meet on the mic.
Love it.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Get Creative. I've got a couple of my good friends here. I've got Abraham Gray to my far left. I've got Dan Quijano to my near left. And I've got Alexis Morgan right here. And the most important guest of the show, we've got Asher Foss today. Asher Foss, guys. I know Abraham's really old, so he won't be able to read the comments, but Alexis should be able to read the comments tonight.
Yes.
Guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. We're going to go through a handful of really fun things. We're going to kind of play some audience participation. Okay. Audience participation. I want a lot of yeses, a lot of nos. We're going to be asking some questions. What I want to talk about today is all of the types of deals that you can get funded with creative finance. Okay. And what we're going to talk about today, it's endless.
Endless.
The answer is endless.
Yep.
There are ways to get funded in creative finance that you and I have never even seen before.
Yep.
In 10 years, you and I will see something go, wow, we've never seen that before. So today we're going to go through a handful of strategies, and I'm going to ask you guys a couple of questions. Okay. Every single type of deal, I'm going to ask the same 5 questions. Okay. Where can I find these deals? How would you fund one of these deals? What are the type of exit strategies you can do with these types of deals? And have you done one of these deals before? Okay. These types of questions, really simple. All right. So first question of the night, land.
Let's go.
We're going to go through land, which I think land is one of the easiest deals to do creative finance with. And the reason being is because land, nobody's doing anything with their land. Have you done a lot of land deals before, Abraham?
I've done very few
Why is that?
because it's not exciting to me. They don't usually cash flow, and
I love Abraham, dude.
well,
I also love talking to you about multifamily, so I can't wait till we get to the multifamily section.
I have some land. I do have.
You and I have a lot of opinions on exactly the same way.
Yeah.
Okay, so land, you've done land deals though, right?
I have a bunch of land that I've bought a long time ago because it was cheap and I knew like eventually it was going to be worth something, so it was like a no-brainer. But like, it's not exciting because when I buy, properties, I can cash flow right away. With land, it's you have to strategize of how to cash flow. Sometimes there's different ways, but sometimes it's just a good long-term play. And I'm not very patient. Land, a lot of times, to make the most amount of money, you have to keep it for a certain amount of time, and you have to be patient.
Yeah.
What about you, Quijano? Land deals, you probably wholesaled a handful, right?
Yeah. For me, the smart strategy, and you can do well, which we have people in the community that do this, is they find builders and they partner with them and they go through this whole process and they try to, they get the things that you need on land. For me, it's if I can't wholesale the deal, I'm just passing on it altogether.
I love it. Okay. Alexis, what's your feeling on land?
I don't want anything to do with land.
Okay, love it. This is interesting because there's a lot of people that jump into land as their first endeavor into real estate, because I actually think land is one of the easiest deals to wholesale. It's one of the easiest deals to do creative finance on.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Why do you think it's easy to do creative finance on land?
Because
I kind of want to see what Alexis says about this.
Easy to do creative finance.
Yeah, why is the seller way more willing to do creative finance on land than they would on a multifamily deal?
Well, because it's not cash flowing, so if they can get cash flow from it,
boom,
makes sense.
Ding, 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 ding. Also in the audience, please. I am watching the audience tonight. My wife is in here tonight. Okay, so the best land deal that I ever did. Creative finance, 50 lots. There was a guy that he was selling off houses back in 2008. Market crashes. He was left with 50 empty lots. He's like, I can't do anything with these. So he held on to them. We get a hold of him and we go, hey, we want to wholesale this land. Because why? I don't want to develop. I was a contractor for 10 years. It's the worst thing ever. People are like, I want to develop communities. Good luck. Have fun. I want to buy things like you, Abraham, that I'm like, I want to buy it and have it cash flowing within 20 days, 40 days, 60 days, whatever, right? So I get a hold of the seller. He says, I want $15,000 per lot. I go, no problem. I'll give you $16,000 per lot. Anti-Quijano move right there. Quijano would have been like, wait, what? I'm sorry. That's all 15,000. I paid 16,000 and the seller says, well, why? Why would you do that? And I said, because I'm going to ask you to get paid after I build the property.
Which is actually a Quijano move because that's called assuming the sale.
Assuming the sale. There you go. So I got the deal. We paid the guy $16,000. But what I did is I went to a manufacturer of mobile homes. I went to a installer, a contractor, and I went to a hard money lender. And I said, I want to partner with you where we all split the profits on these 50 lots. We went and built 50 lots. Laura sold all of these lots for us. She was the realtor.
Oh, wow.
And I essentially did a novation agreement on all these lots. I never had to actually buy them up front. The seller got paid a year and a half later after we built the lots.
Wow.
Okay. But why was he willing to wait that long? Is because he waited from 2008 to 2020
Yeah.
Right.
With still no end in sight.
with no end in sight. Right. So for somebody to come along and go, I'll pay you an extra $1,000 per lot if you're willing to carry another year. He's like, I was going to carry another year anyway.
Yeah.
So that's the advantage with land. Land has a tremendous advantage for cash. I'm sorry, for creative.
Mhm.
If you come in and you buy a land cash, what are you doing, Abraham?
You're tying up a lot of money.
For like how long?
Depends
Asher,
on what you're gonna do with the land.
mine? Oh, wow.
Can they hear us?
Oh, that sucks. Hold on.
If you're in the audience, give us a 1 to 10 on the audio quality in the chat. How are we doing with audio? 1 to 10. If we're cutting out, it has to be below a 5. We need to know. Help us help you. What are the numbers? 3s. So the
0,
audio
3.
quality is bad.
7.
All right. What about now, guys?
6.
We're working on it. We got 5s. We got a couple 5s. Can we get above a 5?
1. 3.
Nothing yet. We're calling in the auctioneer lady from Montana
So we
to
can
bid us
keep
up
rolling.
better numbers on our audio quality.
The fact that we have some numbers is good because obviously they heard you ask.
They heard me ask the question, right?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? No.
If we had
So we have a 5. We have 5s.
Getting 5s? We're getting there.
all right, so we're working on the audio. This is like a big setup. There's 4 people here.
Yeah.
Usually there's 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a totally different setup than usual.
People don't realize what really goes in to the behind the scenes
Yeah.
of something like this, right? There's 1, 2, 3 cameras just right here.
Oh, there's way more than 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
3 right here.
Yeah. And Asher.
Now we're
Tens.
back at 10s.
Yeah. So now we're at
Okay.
10s. All right, cool. Well, now we're back at 5s.
Now we're back at 5s. I wonder
So
if they were like,
the other cool thing about land that the reason why I have so much land, because I don't like to buy land. One of the reasons why I have a lot of land, because I actually do have a bunch of lots right now that are like few acre lots that are commercial and residential. The reason why I have so many is because I bought them in package deals with single families and
Interesting.
with warehouses and with other stuff. So that's how I ended up with a lot of the land that I actually currently still have that I'm not doing anything with. But it's like almost like the gravy. It's the profit.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm not spending the money on it, to buy the land. I'm spending on it to get the other stuff that I really want. And I'm paying a little bit extra because the land's in there.
Yeah.
And in the seller's mind, they're like, oh, wow, I'm selling the land, so I'm getting more for it. But in my mind, I'm like paying for the stuff I want, and the land's almost
and then,
like
that's gravy.
almost
So
gravy.
what do
Yeah.
you do with those? Like, what do you do with that land in that?
Are we good now? Everybody, can everybody be heard right now?
10s? Can we get some 10s in the chat? Don't lie.
Everybody's
Tell the
saying
truth.
much better. I got a lot of
Much better.
10s. Wow, way better, way better. Is even Mike? Everybody, all 4 mics are good. Okay, we got 10s.
Let's go.
All right,
Sauce.
cool. Love
Okay,
it.
cool.
Heart emoji.
10.
All right, keep going. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah. So what do you do with those, right? So you don't focus on land. You get them as
Yeah.
a package deal. Like, do they sit? Do you hold them for a while?
Yeah, so a lot of the land that I do have, that I currently have, because I have whatever, half a dozen lots right now that are decent lots that are worth, some of them are worth 100,000+. A lot of them I've had for actually like 10 years plus.
Oh, wow.
So I sell them, I put them on the market. Really what I do is I put signs in the yards, and as people are interested, I just try to get some crazy number, and as people want them, I sell them. And if I see there's not a big desire, I know there's an upside later down the road, I just keep them because, again, that's my gravy. I really have no money in most of my land because even though it's worth 100, 150, 200,000, some of the lots I have, I bought them in package deals with like a dozen, 15 properties. And again, that's just gravy. I actually made money on all the stuff that I sold or the stuff that I would have paid anyway.
So it's free anyways. I mean, you get free land essentially.
Sort of. But to the seller, they got an extra $100,000 in their mind, because I might buy 10 properties and price them at $100,000 each, and then the last 2 at 0. They might have figured it at 120, 90 each, but they got 90 for the lot. So it doesn't matter. The bottom line is they got what they want. I got what I want to pay. How we figured that amount, they figured it differently, and it made them happy. It's all psychological.
100%.
Okay, so I see a lot of people that go, I'm going to go focus on wholesaling land. And there's a couple of reasons why I think people do that. One, nobody wants to do that. It's a niche, right? It's like, I'm going to go wholesale land. They're like, oh my gosh, wholesaling land's amazing. So the people who do go focus on it, there's just a lot less people doing it. And you have to find a completely different buyer as well. And the way you're structuring land, you can be very, very creative with it. People that are very smart are focusing on land, and they're taking it above and beyond just, hey, let me wholesale the deal. They're saying, hey, if I can get the seller to carry land, like on a seller finance, I want to participate on the development side of things. I see a lot of people doing that.
Yeah.
I don't believe that land wholesaling is a fully scalable model.
I actually had friends that wholesale land, and I was looking at their business model. They rarely have repeat buyers.
Yeah.
And I was like, how every time you go out, you have to find a new buyer.
Because their buyer, your buyer is you're going to be on that land for a year and a half, or 2 years, right? Jamil did a land deal 8 years ago, and it was a weird situation, but he couldn't even get the land entitled for like 2.5 years. Like, people don't realize that land takes 2.5 years before you can even build on it.
Right.
Okay. So if you guys are doing land, great place to start with creative finance is go and find builders that are building and say, hey, if I can find the land that you want. Now, where would I be able to find land? Really easy. Go to landwatch.com. Landwatch.com has 12,000 lots on seller finance right now, actively listed on seller finance. Go to landwatch.com. Anybody else have a great place to find land?
Just same ways we buy, single family, multifamily,
A lot of friends of mine, people that are doing land, they also send out offers. Like, they just send out blank contracts.
Yeah.
With a number.
They just
it's
put
just
like
that simple.
Because a lot of people got a lot of people that sell land at really good prices got it inherited to them. Right. They don't even know anything about it. They don't want it. They have no interest. So they'll sell it for anything.
That's another thing. Like, people don't know the value of their land.
Okay.
Whereas like, for the house, you can just
the value of the land is based on what you can do with it, right? Versus a single family home, it's based on your next door neighbor.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of that's speculative because you don't know where developers are going, right? You really have to have an understanding. I think you make a good point when it comes to multifamily, which obviously we'll get into, but I look at land very similarly. Whereas if you're looking to build a business and make money right now, you probably don't want to be in land, right? It's just, it's a down the road.
If you're going to wholesale land, either through cash or creative to an end buyer that's going to sit on it and hold it, then yes.
Sure.
Right. But hey, I want to go develop. Dude, that's not a beginner strategy.
I'll tell you. So one of the things that Pace asked you, Alexis, was like, would you want to do land? What do you know about land? Like, I have no interest in land. And most people are exactly thinking the same as you. And I can tell you the reason why. The reason why is because you don't know anything about land. No one taught you land. You don't have someone that like specifically taught you anything about it. Now, if you had a few people around you that were making a lot of money on land and like, this is how you do it, your whole thing would change. You would be like, oh, I like land.
I understand. I just don't like the concept of not having a repeat buyer.
There's a lot of things to not like about land, and there's a lot of things to like about land. Yeah. One of the things I don't like about land is I don't make money today. Yeah. Right. Got to sit on it and wait. I've developed in my construction company, we developed over 700 projects. I'm done. Whereas accumulating single family homes and multifamily homes, RV parks, etc., it's so fun. Every single time is different. Whereas developing land, it's like hurry up and wait all the time.
So going back to like the last Zoom we did with, Gator lending, transactional lending, the little bit that I've seen, I've actually done a few really big transactional loans for people buying and flipping land that made a shit ton of money. So like my perspective on land has changed because of the that's the other great thing about doing transactional lending and all these things. You learn about stuff that you don't do.
Yeah.
You learn about other markets. So that's another bonus we never even talked about when we do those types of Gator lending and all that stuff. But I know someone that actually does have repeat customers and does do really well just because, again, I see the AB and I see the BC because I have to see the AB so I know how much to wire, and I have to see the BC because my payoff has to be on there. So I get to see that, there's some people that do really well, but it's a very small amount. But if you learn it correctly and you know how to go after it, it could be good.
Yeah. So, all right. So we've got dirt. Okay. Just kind of taking a gut check on everybody on these type of strategies. Go from dirt. The next level up, I'm going to say, is an RV park, because you really haven't built a house there yet, right? You have RV parks. It's basically just gravel parking spots with poop pipes and electrical hookups, right? So, number one, focusing on, if everybody in the world focused on RV parks as an entrance and exit strategy, is there enough business for everybody in real estate to focus on?
Not enough of it.
There's not enough of it.
Not for everybody. If everyone's doing it now.
Yeah.
If everyone's doing it. So I look at RV parks as a non-scalable model if I'm a wholesaler. Okay. If I'm the only guy doing it, I think that I could wholesale that kind of stuff easily, but it's not a business model that 50 people in town could focus on that full time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So especially in Albuquerque, no offense to Albuquerque,
no.
But if I had 4 guys only doing RV parks in Albuquerque, they'd probably bump into each other on every single deal.
Well, if anybody's seen Breaking Bad, right,
yeah.
That's where it was an RV. Right. So I mean, there's a little bit of a different opportunity in that space. There
you go.
Right.
All right. So I've got an two RV parks that I'm closing right now. The structure of those deals is $7 million purchase price. Seller's asking for $400,000 down. How am I funding that $400,000?
I'm assuming you're getting private money lenders.
Private money lender.
Yeah.
So I'm into the deal, no money. The seller's carrying 96%, basically, giving me a 10-year balloon, 30-year amortized loan at 4%. Good little deal. Cash flows, turnkey cash flows today, has managers in place, already running it. I met the managers. I'm like, wow, these managers are so smart. I'm like, I almost wanted to buy these RV parks just because I met the managers. I'm like, holy crap.
Wow.
10 grand a month between the two parks. Payment's a little bit high that the seller has, and I'm okay with that. But we net after everything, budget, managers, everything else, $10,000. So seller finance, great deal. What is your experience in RV parks, Alexis?
Little to none.
Little to none.
I talked to a friend of mine, Evan Lane, who markets
Love
for
Evan.
RV parks, and I know that they're heavy cash flow. It's like short-term rental with land. Yeah,
they're like a business. They really are a business. Low maintenance. You have a couple of employees that are on site. You get a lot of volunteers.
Yep.
A lot of people don't know this, but most of the people that work at RV parks are living there for free, and they're like, I just want to live here for free, and I'll clean all the bathrooms.
Wow.
Right? That's the majority of the employees. You have a manager and then a bunch of volunteers.
But the thing about RV parks, I know that the business model is like a wide spectrum. People can stay, for 2 or 3 nights.
Yep.
People can stay for 6 months. People can stay permanently.
Oh yeah, you see people building like permanent structures in an RV park.
Yeah.
Wow.
How do you determine like which one's a good fit for you? And like,
it's hard because
wholesaling.
We travel around and we go into these RV parks, and I'm like, as a consumer of the RV park, I go, I don't want to stay in an RV park where people have like built permanent structures and they got 18 cats at this little RV park.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it is a thing. Can I wholesale an RV park?
You can wholesale
Yeah,
anything.
you wholesale anything.
Okay, I just want to double check.
Yeah.
There's people listening right now. Can I do creative finance on an RV park?
100%.
Can I buy an RV park on creative finance and wholesale it?
Of course.
Yes.
Okay, where would I want to find an RV park if I wanted to go and buy one? If I was a wholesaler, I want to find that list. Where would I go?
So I know people that actually do a lot of RV parks. They actually drive around to all the RV parks and talk. And yeah.
It's so amazing how many RV parks are not listed anywhere.
Yeah.
It is like this old school business that if you drive around, Jerry Norton and I just bought 2 RV parks in Montana. And we were like, let's do a Google search on all the RV parks. And there was a search. It was like, there's 40 RV parks in Kalispell, and it listed them all out. We mapped it. And as we were mapping it to drive them all, we were like, that's not on our map.
Yep.
That's not on our map. That's not on our map. That's not on Google.
Crazy.
It's a very, I love your answer. Also, you can go to Crexy.com, go to loopnet.com, also landwatch.com. And you can also go to bizbuysell.com because a lot of these are sold as businesses.
Yep. So I have a friend that does really well with RVs, and it's through like Tampa area, within like an hour or hour and a half of Tampa. And almost all the deals they get are by driving to them and then talking to neighbors, and then neighbors selling, their their friends or their relatives and all that stuff. But they said that a lot of this they can't find online, that you have to like drive and talk, and the amount that they pay for them compared to what they could sell them for is crazy.
It's crazy.
Like they make so much money on them. They're paying like 10, 15, 20,000, putting like 10, 20,000 into them, selling them for 100 and some thousand. I mean, the markup on those are insane.
Yeah, well, and you got to realize the type of person that lives in and runs an RV park, they're old school a lot of the time, right? They want you to come in and shake their hand. They want to put a face to the name. They want to have those real belly to belly conversations. So I think door knocking them, just showing up, that's really the best.
I'm not sure if this is true. Maybe you know better than me. But what I was told by my friend that does a lot of RV parks, that I don't really do them or haven't, I'm not opposed to them. I just never really came across it. He said that most people that buy RV parks have to pay, well, if they're buying just like one unit or whatever, they have to pay cash because it's hard to get financed compared to like buying a house.
Very hard to get financing. So I'm actually buying this RV park subject to an SBA loan. So I'm taking over a small business association loan. And when I look at so it's a hybrid deal. It's part sub 2, part seller finance. The sub 2 portion is an SBA loan. A lot of people don't know, because you take over EIDL loans and SBA loans. It's so crazy what you can do with creative finance. But I bought it and I was like, okay, well, how big? It's a $7 million purchase roughly. And I'm like, wow, man, that sub 2 and SBA loan, this SBA loan must be huge. He got like $400,000 from the SBA. That's it.
Wow.
The rest of it, he had to pay cash. And so what that does is it sets you up as the buyer to also come in and go, dude, I can't get an SBA loan for this. Sell it to me on seller finance.
And they're expected to, because they know it's going to be hard.
Right.
So it's hard. It's easier to get them to do that.
Right. All right, cool. So next one, a little bit different. Another one I've done a lot of. I have 85 of these. Mobile home parks. What experience do you have of mobile home parks?
Oh, that's, you know what I was just talking about last time was mobile home parks, not RV parks. I'm an idiot.
I'd scratch all of that, guy.
Everything I said, I was talking more about.
They're very similar.
Very similar. Yeah.
Very, very
Except for the
similar.
laws.
Yeah. So the mobile home parks, okay, this very different. Mobile home parks, people are living there primarily. They're doing one of two things. One, they are renting the land from you. It's the craziest thing. So I have one in Yuma. It's my biggest one is 35 units. And I have yet to take any cash flow from it. It makes $7,500 a month net cash flow. I've never taken $1 from it. Why would I not do that, Alexis?
I have no idea.
Because I have been kicking tenants out one by one, and taking the $7,500 cash flow from last month into renovating every unit to raise the rent $300. So you think about that, my $7,500 ends up getting a 50% cash on cash return, because I go put that $7,500 into the unit. I raise that rent $300. I now make an extra $3,600 on that unit. When I finish doing that in the park, okay, my total net will be closer to $17,000 a month.
Wow.
I bought that deal. This is one of my favorite deals ever. It was a TTP student, and he looks at the ARV of this park. The ARV of the park is like 500. Seller wants 600,000, $100,000 over ARV. So he goes in and he offers the seller 300,000. Pretty typical, right? For a wholesale cash deal. So he says it's a dead lead. He then runs into our team. Our team says, hey, we'll buy your dead leads. Let's work your dead leads. So I go to the seller. I go, how much do you want? He goes, I want 600 grand. I go, done. 0%. He goes, sure, I'll give you 0%. So I got a $500,000 mobile home park for $600,000, $0 down, 0% interest, no balloon.
Wow.
Okay. So my $7,500 cash flow does not even include my $11,000 payment to him. That is 0%. So every month I'm paying down 11 grand.
Amazing.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Okay. Insane. So mobile home parks are also very old school owners.
Yeah.
Okay. These are retiring. They're retiring. Most of them are people who are like, I bought this mobile home park 25 years ago. Now I'm 65. I never scaled out of management. Though that's the place. It's the same thing with you buying businesses, Abraham. You're targeting people that never really figured out the management side. Is that right?
Yeah, for the most part. If they had it figured out, they wouldn't need to sell it.
Right. It's like the people go, why are you selling? I'm retiring. It's like, okay, that means what you're really saying is I want to retire, but I never built an actual business.
Yeah. I worked a deal for a mobile home park in northern Florida with Lonza. We worked this thing together for a while. Guy was in his 90s. Old
Wow.
Southern dude, owned this thing. It was a small park, had 10 units on there. He owned them all.
He told me about the story.
Did he really?
Yeah.
And the tough part is we worked with this guy forever. He was ill. He went into surgery. We sent him flowers. We did all of the thing. But the one sticking point for him was he wanted to see us face to face. And we were going to fly out to meet him. Problem was he had to go in for like heart surgery at 90 years old, right?
Wow.
And so we talked to his wife. We did our best to like develop the relationship. And basically the decision was as soon as he's okay, we'll fly out there, meet him, do all the things. A week after he got out of the hospital, he signed with some guy from up the street.
Oh,
It was tough.
So you're just hammering home what Abraham said, which is get your butt out there, shake the hands.
You just had a deal like that where somebody, you were door knocking and you had a deal that you were going to sign and somebody was there at the same time and they signed with the other person just because they were there literally an hour before you.
Wow.
Jamari was her door knocker that went to that house. Jamari was there and the guy was signing the papers with the other person as Jamari was like, what do you mean? Like, we'll pay you more.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. So, but one thing that you said that was really super cool that I don't know if everyone got was you are taking your $7,500 cash flow every single month and basically improving the property, making it worth a lot more because every single time you're getting more rent, how much more does it actually make the property worth? Ridiculous. So you're building your wealth and you're spending that money, which what happens? You don't have income, so you're not paying taxes, but you're building your wealth infinitely crazy without even having to pay any tax. That's another way you get out of paying taxes.
I feel bad because here's what I did. I partnered with Steve Harward out of Yuma on this deal. He's 10% owner on the deal. So I went and raised the closing cost. It was like 30 grand. That 30 grand got paid off so fast. So there's like no money in that deal. But I go, hey, let's go build more of these mobile home parks. Let's go buy more of these. He's like, amazing. I go, every time you find another mobile home park and we go work with a TTP student that doesn't understand creative finance, we'll go from 10 to 12 on the next one, then to 14 on the next one, then 16 on the next one, and 18, etc. in terms of ownership. He's like, amazing. When do I get my first check? I go, probably 4 years.
Sounds like the deal you and Cody had when you first started doing business together. He's like, we're making all this money, but where the hell is our check?
And he's like, well, what do you mean? Why am I not getting paid? And I said, because the structure of this deal is that we want to build massive wealth. And I don't know about you guys, but I worked so much harder when I have no money in the bank.
Yep. You have to be more creative.
You have to
way more creative.
My best deals were my first deals. Why is that?
You don't have money. You got to get
no money.
You had to, yeah.
You had to get creative. Okay, so that's mobile home parks.
Question on mobile home parks, though.
Yeah.
Before we move on.
Yes.
There's a thing with mobile home parks about how old they get, and when is it?
That's on the next one, homie.
Okay.
That's not. So what we're talking about now is a mobile home park. Okay. Nobody cares how old a mobile home park unit is. You want to know why? Because mobile home park is actually not.
So they're renting the land.
They're renting my dirt.
Got you.
My dirt and my plumbing hole. That's what they're renting.
Yep.
Okay. So here's some really cool things about mobile home parks as well. Okay. People, this is the craziest thing ever. This is what's been going on in my mobile home park. When I bought it, had 35 units. 17 of them were park owned. So I owned them. And the other like 18 were owned by the residents. Right. I'm like, great, move your freaking roach coach in here. I don't care. Bring it in here. Right. And I go, all right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take my 17 and I'm going to seller finance them to my tenants. And I'm going to charge them a little bit more money to live in that and own it, plus the dirt. So they'll come in, they'll give me $5,000 on the owner I'll owner finance my trailer to them. Okay. It's not a house. It's literally a vehicle. Okay. It has a DMV number, has a VIN number. Okay. Yeah. They're not real. It's not real estate. It's a car.
You can move it.
Yeah. You can move it. It has a VIN number. So when people are like, hey, what's your title? You have a title, a deed? You're like, no, I have a VIN number.
The DMV to register. You have to
go literally.
If it's not affixed, it's a whole thing.
Yeah. There you go. So we're going to get into affixed houses next. So what happens with these people, they give me $5,000, they move in. And then like one day we're like, why? We haven't seen that person in a while. What's going on? They just moved out.
They just moved
they
out.
Left
yep.
it.
They left it. Yep. After I owner finance, and I'm like, what do I do?
Down payment and everything.
Yeah, everything.
Give it back.
It's a different type of
Wow.
person that likes the idea of owning a
Yes.
home, but then you're like,
Craziest
okay, well, I
thing
gave you
ever.
the chance.
They feel good, like they own it. But
Yeah.
also, when you owner finance it to them,
Yeah.
you're not responsible for fixing anything.
No.
But when it's actually yours, you have to fix it.
That's why I was
Yep.
doing it. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, in my park, I don't want to have any repairs.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let me owner finance these 17 houses. And it's turned into this thing where like 5 times in the last 3 years, people just come in, give me $5,000, and then they bounce.
You can re-owner finance.
Yeah.
The same
I can
house.
read. Yeah.
That's insane.
They default.
It's not a house, by the way.
Oh yeah,
It's a car.
It's a car. Yeah.
It's a car. Okay, so now next one, we're gonna get up to the next level. Okay, is a mobile home that is affixed to the property. Okay, now this is where creative finance really dominates, because when a mobile home is affixed, now becomes real estate. Okay, my wife is the best at this, by the way. Before I was the creative finance guy, I was the mobile home guy. Everybody in there, Steve Trang was like, didn't you used to be the mobile home guy for like 2 years? I was like, yeah. He's like, how did you get to switch to creative finance? I'm like, I was using creative finance on all my mobile homes.
Wow.
We would focus on mobile homes that were 1976 or older. Why?
Huh. Because nobody else. Yeah.
Well, no, there's a law. Once they're a certain age, something
you can't get finance.
They can't get financing.
right.
Yep.
So let's say I buy this app. How did I know this? Because I got screwed.
That's how
You
learn
bought a
everything.
deal
That's how you
older
learn
and-
I bought a deal from a wholesaler.
Okay.
And the wholesaler's like, yo, dude, ARV is like 200. I'm like, yeah. Comps check out. It's all good. You know, there's one that's like 2 years older than mine. That's got to be okay. Same kind of model. Perfect. It's a fixed. Great. We got the thing. I buy it for like $100,000, put $30,000 into it. I'm thinking, okay, 130, I'm all in, sell it for 200, 20,000 in cost. I'm going to make 50,000.
Mhm.
ARV on this thing was $100,000.
Wow.
Why? Because it's a
Financiability.
1974. It's too old. So the buyer would have to come in with cash because nobody's going to finance that property.
Right.
And so it alienates and it makes your buyer pool so small. So your ARV just changes dramatically. So then I go, wait, hold on a second. My greatest deals ended up becoming my greatest deal to this day. I've got one of the greatest deals. I hardly ever talk about this deal. And I don't have the time to tell you about how crazy this deal is. Maybe I do. I kind of feel like I want to. Okay, so I'll be quick on this one. So Brent Daniels, again, I love TTP students because they don't know creative finance. So it was like taking candy from a baby. I get a foreclosure from their team. They're like, oh, we can't do anything with this because the lady, it's a 1974 and she wants too much money. And I'm like, okay, I'll take it. So I get over there. I meet the girl. Turns out her mom was dead.
Oh, wow.
Okay, her mom's dead. I go, can I just take over your mom's payment? She's like, maybe you didn't hear me. My mom is dead. I'm like, perfect. Can I take over her payments? She's like, that's not possible. I go, it's possible. Let me take it through probate. So we take it through probate. I end up buying this. I gave her and her sisters $500 each. I take the deal over. I'm all into it. Mortgage, closing costs, $2,500 to Brent Daniels. I'm all into this thing, $60,000. It was a 1974 mobile home. If I sold it on cash, I would have sold it for like $90,000. I sold it for $290 on terms.
Wow.
$290 on terms.
Holy cow.
Yep.
Did you do anything to it?
No. When the buyer, I did a whole Zoom on this. It was a really great Zoom. It's one of the trainings in Sub2, which neither of you guys watched, which is good.
I didn't get the email.
You didn't get the email?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got it. It's just the wrong inbox.
So there's this great
The wrong
training.
inbox.
There's this great training where I actually go through and I show people the photos of the house, and it's like weeds are growing through the windowsills. There's like the toilets are missing, and the buyer gave us $20,000 down, lived in the property for like 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah.
We were netting $1,000, maybe $1,200 a month. Right now we're foreclosing on them and taking the house back, and I'll turn around and sell it for like 350.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the greatest thing. The ARV is maybe $100,000 at this point.
Wow.
Okay. So mobile homes, if you focus on the ones that are older, non-affixed, it's a niche market where the seller's like, I can't do anything with it. You go, great. ARV is 100. I'll pay you 100. But you got to give me seller finance. Then you can turn around and sell it on a wrap for like 200, 250.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. That's all we did for like 2 years.
There's no other choice for them.
There's no choice.
Well, it's not other great choices. I have a question though, because this
Yeah.
I don't know the answer. So you said 1974. That's the number you used. Does every year does it move up? 1975, 1970, or it stays at 74 forever?
Stays.
76.
There was building
76.
Yeah.
There was
Whatever the
building
year.
requirements that came out that year.
Yeah.
That all the lenders before that are like, oh, there's no way we're going to go back to those building requirements.
Oh.
Yeah.
So not every. So even though 5 years later, it still stays the same year.
Stays
so it's
the
not
same.
how old it is. It's there's something about that particular year.
Right. But every time you look at a mobile home, you're also like, that's got to be 1960. They all look
They all kind
1960.
of look
Yeah.
old, right?
Yeah.
When I was first,
Even new ones, you're like, that's 1960.
yeah, when I was first getting into wraps, I talked to somebody in the community who did wraps on mobile homes, and he showed me this mobile home one time. It looked like it was fire damaged. It wasn't. It just looked that bad, right? There was trash all on the inside. He was like, "Yeah, look at this one we just did." Right?
He sold it on a wrap.
He sold it on a wrap with $20,000 down.
Yeah. We probably didn't do any work to it.
Nothing. He left it looking like it did.
Yeah. This was my favorite strategy for a long time because the buyer on a mobile home is the least discerning buyer. They don't care. They're not picky. You'll never get like a final punch list. They'll never, if we have this thing in Phoenix called a binzer, you guys call it an inspection report. We call it a binzer. It's a buyer's inspection notice. So they notice the seller, and then the seller has a response. So binzer, BINSR. Seller has the right to respond after the buyer goes and does an inspection. We do inspections with mobile home buyers all the time. They're just like, hey, there was a rattlesnake on the porch. Literally, we had a rattlesnake infection on one of our mobile homes just last year. And the only thing they asked was like, can you just make sure there's no rattlesnakes on the property? That was like the biggest ask I've ever had in my life.
Wow.
Rattlesnake, like
you got steak on the mind because you got
Look, let me tell you guys something right now. Pace is not only the king of creative finance, he's also the king of steak on a grill.
Was that really good?
It was really good, dude.
You're not lying.
I'm not lying.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
it's a good. I'll take that compliment.
Yeah.
Okay, so mobile homes are great. Mobile homes, you can pull them on PropStream. You can pull them on Batch Leads. You can pull them on what's the one? I used to use it. ListSource. ListSource is great. ListSource is kind of old school.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't use ListSource anymore, but mobile homes. And if you're like, I want to do a creative finance deal today, go find a mobile home that is, go on PropStream, find them that are 1974 or older, and you'll score.
Is it 76 or 74?
It's either 76 or 74.
Yeah,
It's one of the two. Yeah.
Old ones.
Old.
Yeah. Go to.
I was born in 75, so it's either before I was born or right after I was born.
It's definitely after Chad was born.
It's definitely after Chad Glover was
Chad.
born. Okay. We're gonna go up one more level. And by the way, a fixed, okay, this is another really great one. So you said, what about the ones that are on land? There is a difference. Okay. A lot of times, I was in this deal with Steve Trang years ago. And here's what you have to do to identify a mobile home. You have to find one of the closets and they have a VIN number.
VIN number.
In the closet.
In the closet.
I had a deal that
I'm not lying and exaggerating at all.
I had a lady, she was, I don't know, 70, walking around looking for the plate with the VIN number. She was like trying to send me pictures. She sent me the wrong one. It was worn down.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
When we found that out, I was like, you've got to be joking me. There's no way that I'm going to ask this old lady to go into her closet and take a photo of this plate. And they're like, I go, dude, where's Ashton Kutcher? Are you punking me? and we actually had I had a mentor here that's all she did was she affixed. We would call her every time we had a property that we needed it to be affixed. So this was a really great way to make money. A lot of these homeowners will buy land and then just throw a mobile home on it. 20 years later, they're like, I want to sell it. And you're like, great. And you go over there and you're like, oh, it's not attached to the land. There's no tie downs. Okay. It's called tie downs. They have not tied it to the property.
It's just sitting there.
Right.
Floating.
You have one tornado, the thing's gone, right?
Oof.
So you go, all right, well, I can't really pay a lot of money for it. So you get these crazy good discounts on them. And then you go get, there's a company here locally, there's a bunch of them, and they'll affix it to the land. How much money do you think it costs to do that?
$5,000.
Yeah, about $3,500. And you get a $50,000 discount because they don't know. I'm like, oh man, I got to attach it to the land. I'm not going to be able to do anything. Like, I'm going to need a discount. They don't know. It's $5,000.
A lot of people don't have the 3,500 probably to do it, even if they knew what to do.
There you
In
go.
New Mexico, you need, what's it called? A redacted title, I think, something like that, in order to do it. And if they can't find the paperwork, if somebody at the DMV doesn't file it properly, it's lost in the abyss. It's just.
So when they tie it down, do they just take the VIN number off or what?
They leave it there for memorabilia.
Yeah, that you get a plaque and you put in the
It's
plaque.
like
Yeah.
memories.
We could do Gator loans for people that need the 3,500.
Oh my gosh,
affix them,
yes.
so then they could sell them for more money after.
I love that.
Go to paceandabraham.com so you guys can sign up.
paceandabraham.com. Okay. Here we go. Single family.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay. Seems like single family's got to be the biggest strategy everybody goes after. Why is this? Let's go through this. Abraham.
There's more of it than anything.
Okay. More of what?
There's more single family out there than any other type of property. Plus, more people know about it. It's easy to value.
Yeah.
It's easy, it's a thing that most people want. So just all that just makes it.
It's a very low barrier to entry too.
Yeah.
Everyone, like, you look up on YouTube, single family real estate, Zillow, single family real estate.
There's a lot of them.
Easy to understand.
I would also add the element of additional resources. Like there's more lenders for it. Okay. There's more title and escrow companies, right? I go to an escrow officer and if I ask her about a fixed mobile home, very rarely will they know what the hell I'm talking about. Right. So single family. Do you remember the best single family deal you did creative finance on? Anything ring a bell? I know you've done hundreds.
Let's see. The best the best ones are ones with zero money down and 0% interest and cash flows like crazy. I mean, I have a bunch like different ones like that.
Yeah, I call those the unicorn deals.
Yep.
Right. The 0 down, 0% interest, seller pays the closing costs, and the tenant already lives in the property.
Yeah.
That's the unicorn deal. I've got the first one I did was not even that long ago. It was like 4 years ago.
No rehab needed.
No rehab. Like I was like, yeah, I'll take over your tenant. Yeah, I'll do this. 0 down, 0. Okay. But only if you pay the closing costs. Yeah. Property I have is 1906 South 78th Place in Mesa, Arizona. It was net cash flowing $1,000 a month after all my expenses, my payment, 0 down. Seller paid the closing costs for us, and tenant is still in the property. We've raised the rent 3 times since.
What was the pain for that seller?
You've never heard this story?
They're old. It's probably an older person.
Yep. So Dale and Susan Poyer.
They didn't want to deal with the tenants.
The tenants were family members.
They didn't want to kick them out.
They didn't want to kick them out. Tenants are they're paying 15 days late every single month. They're like, we can't impose a late fee because now the people at our Thanksgiving parties, everybody thinks we're pieces of crap. We just want to retire. Yep. We don't want to deal with this anymore. She wanted, man, this is one of my best stories. Holy crap. This is where the F-150 story came from.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, how do I get this lady? I said, so this is the story. This is probably like 5 years of my journey. I wasn't using the F-150 story until this moment. This was probably 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. And it was actually a wholesaler calls me up and goes, hey, hot shit. He says to me, you think you're so good at dead leads. You want to meet me at this appointment? This lady wants 110 grand for a property that the ARV is 100. And in order for us to make money on it, I'd have to buy it at 40. You want to come show me your magic? I was like, yeah. So I go over there. We meet in the carport. I'm like, why can't we go in the house? They're like, well, we have tenants in here. Oh, okay, great. Another element of challenge. All right, no big deal. I'm talking to Dale and Susan, and I go through and I go, so Susan, I imagine you're probably getting offers like $40,000, maybe $50,000 if somebody's really good at lying to you. She's like, yeah. How do you know? Yeah, my best offer is like 47 grand. I go, well, the reason I know is because that's where I would be if I was willing to buy this with cash. And then you shut the hell up. What happens, Kihana, when you shut up?
It's awkward silence for about 5 seconds, and then they ask the question, well, so what else?
Yeah, why would you not be paying cash?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing is if I was going to come and pay cash, I would pay 47,000. And if you were going to take 47,000, you would have already taken it before I got here. Yeah. So it's obvious that cash isn't going to work. I would be willing to go up to your purchase price if you were willing to give me terms. She says, what's terms? And I go, let me tell you a story about an F-150. I told her the story about the F-150 and she's like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'll do that. 110 grand, 8% interest, $20,000 down. And I go, all right. So this is also where the teeter-totter story came from. I go, you ever seen a teeter-totter? She's like, yeah. And I go, you are up here with your purchase price. I'm down. As long as I'm down here on my down payment and my interest rate, it's okay for you to be up here. But if you want to be up here and you're going to make me be all the way up here too, it's going to snap the teeter-totter in half. This deal is dead. And she's like, okay, well, what would work? And I go, principal only, no money down. and give me 20-year terms, and I'll take over your 10. I'll take all your headache. And she goes, well, I have to have a down payment. I go, okay, well, would you be okay if I paid my down payment to you in 6 months? She goes, yeah, I'd be okay with that. So I'd made $1,000 net cash flow every single month for 6 months in a row. You've never heard the story?
Now I'm here. Now that you're telling it, I understand.
So she wanted $10,000 down.
You paid her.
I paid her over a year. So I collected $12,000 in net cash flow, and I paid her down payment for her. That property to this day, that was one of the first deals that Cody and I did together. I bought the property for $110. It's now worth like maybe $315. And we've hammered that house down. Like I probably owe 60 grand on that house at this point. But now the rent is not $1,650 like it used to be. Now it's like $2,200.
Wow.
I love 0% interest.
They're the best.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I would have a non-cash flowing 0% interest deal for 2 years, 3 years. And it just catches up, and it's just like a steam train.
Everyone needs to hear these stories, because like literally 90% of people that reach out to me or you, I know for sure, are like, you're an effing idiot for paying double what anyone else would pay. Why are you doing it? You're an idiot. You're an idiot. I would never do it. Everyone's like, I would never do it. There's no benefit. You're crazy. You're teaching people the wrong stuff. And guess what? Guess who's rich in 5-10 years from now? Guess who has unlimited amounts of like income coming in, like for free? You know, they don't really, they see the short-term picture. They don't understand the long-term picture. It's crazy how people don't understand that.
Right.
Like I know people make fun of you like crazy for that.
Yeah. I get a lot of people in my comments like, oh, why would you buy this? Don't you? But I'm like, tell me you don't own property without telling me you don't own property.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Just like that video that we did when you were talking about the golf house, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And just so many people just don't comprehend, or they don't believe. And it's just, your own mindset gets in your way. It blocks you from opportunities all the time.
Yeah.
I think the people that hate and tell you how stupid you are the people that are so jealous because they don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
If they knew how to do it, then, they just want to hate because it makes them feel good, because I don't know, like it's crazy.
What's crazy is how much confidence you have when you learn how to do creative finance. You feel like an almighty being, where you're like, I number one, even if I have a tremendous amount of competition, I really don't. Like, I'm the only one that understands it, right? Mm-hmm. And this RV park, okay? So people go, man, why are you teaching everybody creative finance? I'm like, dude, I could teach another 100,000 people creative finance, and it still would not oversaturate the market. I just bought this RV park up in Montana. It was on the market for a year before we called.
Wow.
When we called the broker and we go, hey, imagine that the seller's been pitched on seller finance, he probably would say no. The broker goes, no, nobody's pitched us on seller finance, but I would imagine maybe he would be open to it with like a 50% down payment. And I'm like, can we talk to him? We were the first people in a year, this is 2023, that even pitched seller finance to this guy.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
Amazing.
I went to an appointment with Kevin Cho. He had an expired listing, and I go in, I'm recording. I have it right here on my phone. I recorded the whole conversation in the kitchen. And I was asked, like, how many other people are offering? Why did you choose us? What were we doing how are we doing a good job? And I got to the point where I go, how many people offered you creative finance? He goes, you were the first ones. This is in Phoenix, Arizona.
Wow.
Spring of 2023, expired listing. Nobody had ever pitched creative finance to this guy.
There's a lot of people. There's probably more people in Phoenix that understand it than anywhere else, just because you're here. And I'm sure a lot of people that started following you that were in Phoenix. So in any other city, and you see this all the time too. People come up to me, oh, it's so hard to do seller finance now. Everybody knows how to do it. Pace teaches everyone how to do it. Like, I'm competing. You're not. Like, in Phoenix in 2023, the first person that pitched it. Like, when I'm in Atlanta, and that's a pretty big market for sub 2 and everything.
Oh, big
else.
Time, yeah.
Man, I talk to like tons of sellers every single month. They're like, they turn down tons of offers, and no one's pitched them a seller finance deal. And the best wholesalers in Atlanta or anywhere else don't even understand how to pitch it, or understand what makes it a good deal, what makes it a bad deal, what to pitch, how to structure it. Nobody knows.
It's so great.
Oh.
We look at our community as like a large community, but you look at like Max Maxwell, look at his YouTube channel. Homeboy's got like 700,000 subscribers. Jerry Norton has 500,000 subscribers. Chris Crone has 1 million subscribers. Bigger Pockets has 1 million subscribers. We have 11,000 people in our community. That's it. Yeah. We are a pin drop in the real estate community as a whole. We are a pin drop. And that is what is so cool. We can just navigate into these deals. these seller finance and sub 2 deals are basically at this point in 2023, they're like layups, right? Because of the interest rates. So can I wholesale a sub 2 and seller finance deal?
100%.
Okay. When you're what markets are you focusing on right now, Keanu?
We did nationwide a lot, but after the market shifted, we were trying to centralize. So we do a lot of Texas, some Florida, going to North Carolina.
Oh,
like
I love all 3 of those markets. Yeah. Where are you buying? I know you and I just bought like 15 properties together.
We actually own over 20. We actually own over a couple dozen doors. We might only have
together.
Together. Yeah, we own over a couple dozen doors together. It might be like 15, 18 properties, but we own closer to 30 doors.
Holy crap, dog.
Yeah. And we just started. And I just
finalized. I just want to be rich, like Abraham.
I just approved a couple more. So we have like one in actually Georgia, funny enough, but it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours from Atlanta.
I saw that deal. It just came across yesterday.
From a 19-year-old in sub 2.
Oh, wow.
So great.
A 19-year-old could do it. If a 19-year-old could do it.
If an 18-year-old can do it.
Yeah.
Well,
she was making 6 figures at 18.
She's 18 and a half.
Don't tell anybody you're 19. Just keep telling people for like the next 10 years. Just keep telling people.
She's trying to get Abraham to let her buy a deal before she turns 20.
Yeah, I have deals. We have deals to give her, but she actually could buy a lot of deals that she originates direct from the seller. Like if you heard her talk on the phones, I mean, she's better than me right now.
Where'd you learn how to talk on the phones?
I learned how to talk on the phones with reps in the nightly dial.
Let's go.
Ooh, the nightly dial.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. Shout out to everybody in the comments, by the way. I can see Chino. I can see Tommy. I can see Joel. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Good to see everybody in here. Now, and what we got about 900 people on Get Creative tonight. So thank you guys for tuning in. For those of you guys that are not inside of our community, Sub 2, Gator, Astro, TTP, Top Tier, Deal Maker, you're not, or Vina Jetty, she's about to open up some stuff. If you're not in it, have fun in the comments, meet some people, right? Connect with people, collaborate with people. So, I was thinking about this recently. There's
some of our best deals that we've gotten were from people that were in some other Get Creative podcast or Sunday services that reached out to us or other Sub 2 members, and we partnered and got some of these deals that we got that are 0% interest, were from non-Sub 2 members that actually met people in these.
Yeah, comments. they bring the non-Sub 2 students bring the deals to Sub 2 students. The Sub 2 students finish and structure them, do the paperwork, and get them on board and all that kind of stuff. So guys,
love them.
You non-Sub 2 students, please collaborate with the Sub 2 students. Abraham and I will buy them shits.
You know what the worst / best part about all this is? You do the elephant challenge. Elephant challenge every single month.
Yeah.
You spend hours teaching people how to do this for free, right? And here's what's crazy. Like we'll do in coaching calls, nightly dial, other things like that. People will come and they'll say, yeah, but I called this agent. They were like, oh, I'm not going to take terms, right?
Yeah.
Because now all these agents are starting to hear terms, right? Here's what's funny. You have this wave, the pace effect, where everybody's going to start doing something, right? And so, but what's going to happen? Now everybody's going to get scared. And they're going to say, oh, you can't do it anymore. It's saturated. It's not going to work, right?
Yeah.
They're going to give up. They're going to quit, right? And then the ones who come in here, into your Zooms, into your podcasts, and they connect with people and they make friends, in 6 months, when all the quitters quit and go back to what they were doing, it's just going to be a land grab again.
Yeah.
Yep. That's why you're the first one to pitch creative finance that expired listing.
That's correct.
Yeah.
It will always be that way. Now, all right. So you go from single family. What do you go to? I came up with a term today when I was typing this out. Microfamily.
Duplexes.
Yeah. Like people are like, oh, it's multifamily. I'm like, that's not multifamily, right? Like I would almost say anything from like a duplex to a 12plex is like really kind of like micro multifamily. And so you and I just bought a 10plex or something, right?
A 6plex and a 4plex.
A 6plex. So, okay, cool. And where did we buy these things?
Where we go salmon fishing.
Shout out next year. Okay. Next summer, we're going to take a killer trip up to Alaska. Would you go up to Alaska?
100%.
They don't have any green chili, bro.
I'll bring my own.
Apparently, green chili is a thing in Albuquerque.
It's a thing. If you are from New Mexico and know about green chili, put like some chili emojis in the chat or something.
Put some eggplant emojis in the chat.
Emojis in the chat.
Okay, so this is not a joke. Okay, next year, everybody in Sub 2, the Sub 2 community, we're going to take a trip up to Anchorage, Alaska. You and I. Yep. We're going to take our wife and kids up there. Probably spend a good week. Like actually go see Alaska.
Yep.
I want to see some mooses.
Meese.
Meese.
Is it Meese?
No.
Yeah, it's meese.
No.
Yes, it's meese.
You got fooled.
Yes?
It's so easy to fool an 18-year-old. Okay, so we are going to go up to Anchorage, Alaska next year. Abraham and I were talking about this. Carly Romer, sub 2 in Alaska, is doing a great job. Proud of you, Carly. He got a 6-plex and a 4-plex that we bought as a partnership.
Yep. Zero money down.
Zero money down. Okay, so micro multifamily, you can do this. Now, Abraham's like, when do you want to go to Alaska? I'm like, I guarantee you we're going to buy like 20 more properties in Anchorage, Alaska in the next year.
Yeah, we will.
So why not just wait 8 months until like, I don't know, probably summertime. You want to leave Atlanta. I want to leave Arizona when it's summertime. Let's go up to Alaska on our way to community camp next summer.
Yep. Down.
Are you down?
I'm 100% down.
So we'll come up with something fun. We'll have some sort of fun event. We'll do like 3 days salmon fishing and then visit properties.
Call it Meese Camp.
We can show everyone the properties and
green chilies,
and show them exactly how it was structured, how it was negotiated, how at that point it'll be, almost a year from when we bought some of the first ones, how much equity we have by paying, what we paid and everything else that a lot of people turned down because they didn't understand creative finance.
What I love about having Abraham as my friend is I get to watch his kids enjoy all this travel.
Yeah.
Like it was so cool to watch them come over to Arizona when we did the boating thing. Mm-hmm. And then it's fun. It was fun to watch them up in Montana. They're just exploring the whole country. It's so cool.
They love it.
You're living the best life, dude.
100%. That's the point of life.
Yeah, it is.
He's actually pretty good at basketball too.
He smoked you, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if I'm good at basketball. You're just bad. So like, I just look
good. Okay. So micro family. Let's say I want to buy a duplex, a 4-plex, a 6-plex. Where am I going? What am I pulling a list? Am I going to like batch leads? Am I going to PropStream? What are you thinking, Keanu?
LoopNet.
LoopNet's a good place. LoopNet works. Crexy works. I like those areas.
Deals go to die.
Well, that's what Vina says, but I've also bought deals off LoopNet. So
have you really?
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're going to be having these conversations. You want to know what's crazy? There's a surprising amount of number in your regular pulling lists. There's a lot of people who own multiple properties and have, you know what I mean? So when you're just pulling your regular list, you're going to come across them.
Yeah, you are. It's interesting too that some of the best deals we've ever bought, probably the same. I bet you've bought some businesses from people that are like, they call you and they're like, no, I'm not selling, but I know a friend that's selling
all the time.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You got to ask the freaking question.
Exactly.
Simple conversation skills. That's weird.
Yeah. I just made a video about a similar story where I bought a property and, fixed it up, sold it. And then I asked, well, you have no other people and they sold me all these other properties. And I made, instead of making 40,000 on the one property, I ended up making like 6 figures between, these different properties. So, I mean, you just got to talk. You got to ask people questions. You got to make deals. You got to be aggressive. You're not going to do it in the first time, but you just talk. You're going to make so much money by asking a simple question sometimes. Okay.
So can I do creative finance with the duplex, 4-plex, 6-plex?
Only on duplex and the quad, not 6-plex.
Not
6-plexes. No, you have to skip that because in 1974 they said you couldn't do it.
Where does microfamily get challenging in terms of getting a lender to fund you? It's from 4 units to 5 units.
So I honestly wouldn't know because I've never financed one lately. I've bought every single like mini multifamily with basically seller finance or a sub 2. So like I wouldn't know, but because I love buying properties single family for cash, but once you get to like those mini ones, it's so easy to get owner finance or sub 2s. It's like I don't even try to buy them.
This is the interesting thing about understanding creative finance is that it's the only thing you see at some point. It's like people go, "Hey, I got a cash deal for you." I'm like, "Bro, you just made me throw up in my mouth. Please don't send me a cash deal to my DMs." It's like you could send me a picture of your junk and it feels the same as when you send me a cash deal. Okay. I don't want to see it. I don't want to know about it. People are like, really? You're not doing cash deals? I go, I'll do cash deals in Arizona, but it's just like when whatever you focus on expands.
Yep.
And when you focus on creative deals, all of a sudden you're just like, that's all you get. That's all you buy. And other people that are on bigger pockets or whatever they're on, they're learning the BRRRR strategy. You focus on the BRRRR strategy. It's the only thing you're going to see.
Can you even BRRRR right now?
It's hard. I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
The interest rates are so high.
BRRRR strategy is hard when interest rates are low.
Yeah.
It's like I got to get a loan and bring in private money. My lender, a lot of times when I get the loan, doesn't want me to have a private money lender on the types of loans that do this stuff. Then I've got to go refinance, get it rented out. Then I got to renovate it, refinance it, stabilize it, then refinance it again. And I got to sink a ton of cash into the deal.
The interest rate, then it probably was in the first place.
Right. And people are like, well, no, you can pull all your money out. I'm like, if you're buying these deals 40 cents on the dollar, then yes.
Yeah.
But like, how many people are actually buying properties cash for 40 cents on the dollar?
Nobody has equity anymore.
They're unicorn deals. I mean, you could, but they're unicorn deals.
Yeah.
Right.
So for somebody new, like, would you recommend they get creative on a single family house or a micro family?
For you?
Yeah, let's say for me.
Okay, like an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Like an 18
You
year old.
Okay,
just
cool.
turned 18.
18 and a half.
You're allowed to live on your own.
Okay, so this is a great question.
Yeah.
You want to live on your own right now, or you want to like house hack?
Yeah, that sounds.
This is easy, dude.
Boom.
You know what I would do? I'd go get a sixplex in Atlanta, and I would live in one unit, and I would pad split the other 5.
There it is.
Pad splitting is smart because you know what? You're not even at that point.
Creative.
At that point, if you're buying a sixplex, you're not living in one and pad splitting the other 5. You're probably pad splitting like 15 because you could turn every single one into probably at least 3 people living there.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and that's if you think about that, I mean, that's insane, right? Because what is that, 18 units at that point that you're cash flowing on?
Yeah.
You could build a whole portfolio off of just something like that.
And pad split started in Atlanta. So like it's the easiest place to pad split because they were in Atlanta for years before they even went everywhere else. Now they're like in a lot of the big cities.
Yeah, Atticus, the owner of Pad Split, lives in Atlanta, and that was like their number 1 market. They crush it there. They have like 600 tenants in Atlanta that are doing Pad Split.
And they stay fully occupied almost always.
So here's the thing. Sixplex.
Yeah.
It's not going to be on PropStream multifamily 2 to 4, but it's also not going to be on somewhere like.
It'll be on Zillow. You go on MLS.
Multifamily.
Who in MLS could you just have that poll in the community?
We have people in my office.
Right away.
Yeah, in the office. Knucklehead. Sixplex.
From the MLS.
Yes. So here's what I told Eric, my videographer, the other day. He's like, I want to get my own pad split. I go, easy. Go to Laura, tell Laura to go to the MLS, pull a list of all active 6plexes, 8plexes, 10, 12, whatever. Don't be too big. Don't go too big, but go at least 6 doors or more. Why? Because you're going to go to the seller. The seller's going to want a really high purchase price. So even if you do a 0 down deal, the payment's going to be significant.
Right.
You don't want to do a duplex pad split. You want to do a 6plex. So 5 of the doors, like we were just talking about, you could do 3 tenants in each door. Now you got 15 tenants between those properties. You cash flow stupid. Ridiculous. I was with Atticus. Okay. He flew out to Phoenix. I was like, this pad split thing sounds like bull crap. I want to meet you. He flies out to Phoenix, and we're walking through a property that this is a last cash deal I did. It was last that I purchased. We do a lot of cash wholesale deals every month, but it was the last cash deal I bought for myself to flip. And I did it for the TV show. And I ended up having this lady named Mercedes that was like, no, I bought the property. I go to the tenant. Tenant has lived in the property 63 years, has not paid rent in 63 years. It was the daughter of the owner.
Wow.
And so she basically is like, I don't know what that is.
Eminent domain?
Eminent domain, basically. Like, I've lived here so long, I own this property. Okay, so I had to wait basically 8 months to get her out. And Kevin Cho and I would go over there all the time. And there was a homeless guy. Side note, nobody's listening, so I can get grody on this. There was a homeless guy that was running an what's it called? OnlyFans account in my backyard. He was having homeless people hook up with each other. My plumber was like, had a camera and filming this whole thing. It was a nightmare of a deal. The reason why it was such a bad deal is because what happened is I bought it. It was just.
I'm still stuck at the homeless
I'm thinking in
OnlyFans.
I put this on my YouTube channel.
In my head, I'm thinking, how much is this guy making? Maybe we can rent it to him, split the money.
Yeah, he was doing good. He was doing good.
Abraham's that's his next acquisition.
He was doing really good. This was such a bad property, and it was such a bad deal. I bought it, and the person that I was going to JV the wholesale exit with bailed on me at the last minute. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to bail on the guy that brought the deal to me. I honor my word. I close on the deal. I brought Chloe, one of our students, to the table. She funded the whole thing. And I sat on it for 8 months while I was trying to get her out. And guess what happened during those 8 months? Interest rates skyrocketed. And I'm like, okay, ARV went from 350 to like 275 real quick. I'm like, okay, that sucks. So then I have to go and I deploy a bunch of capital into it. Now I've got 9-10 months of hard money. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. So I go, all right, no problem. Let's just Burr strategy this deal.
You love Burr.
Y'all, anybody that says Burr is a good strategy, like if you want to buy one house a year, fine. It's a great strategy for you. Okay. Keep doing the Burr strategy. So,
or cat lovers that have Androids.
I go, but this is me. I go, I'm crazy. I go, I'm not losing money on a real estate deal. I'm just not. I would rather negative cash flow for 2 years before I lose money on a deal. So I refinance it into a 7% interest rate, just like 4 or 5 months ago. And I'm like, all right, well, let's just, bring a tenant in here. We'll lose $400 a month. And I'll keep $100,000 tied up in this stupid house. And then Molly's like, okay, no problem. I'll get a tenant. She gets an applicant that she basically approves them. And then I meet Atticus from freaking Pad Split. And Atticus goes, that house could make you like $1,500 a month net.
Wow.
I was like, you are full of crap. There's no way. There's no way that this house has a freaking pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. There's no way. So he flies into town, hanging out with me at the property, goes, do this, this, and this. Thing's going to turn into $1,500 a month. I'm like, oh my gosh. Sure enough, here we are.
Yep. It's
doing well. But as I'm standing in front of this property, he goes, by the way, see this 8-plex across the street right now? That's the best pad split you'll ever buy. I'm like, pad split and multifamily? He's like, yeah, think about it. You got a 2-bed, 1-bath. You could turn into a 3-bed, 1-bath. Easy. Now, instead of renting that thing out for $1,200, you're renting out each room for $850. Now you're bringing in like $3,200, $3,400 a month. Multiply that by 8 units.
It's insane.
I'm like, oh my gosh. So this is what I told Eric. I said, Eric, go to every 4-plex, 6-plex, 8-plex on the MLS right now, listed over 60 days, and say, I'll give you your full purchase price if you give me seller finance. And you'll turn around and put this on Pad Split, and you'll freaking make so much effing money on a monthly basis.
You know what's crazy, right? What's the moral of the conversations that we're all talking about tonight? It's all creative finance, right? What's the foundation of creative finance? It's creativity. It's thinking outside of the box. And Pad Split essentially took something that we've been doing for a long time and got creative with it.
That's
and
it.
Look what they created.
And talking to a lot of people, making a lot of offers. It's a numbers game as well.
Isn't everything though?
Yeah.
You
Literally,
know what I'm saying?
People are like, I called 3 people, I didn't get one. This doesn't work. It's bullshit.
Yeah. It's a numbers
It's like
game.
you called 3 people and it didn't work. It's bullshit. Like, goddamn.
Yeah.
Think about it. If a basketball player said that, like I shot 3 shots, I missed all 3. I'm done.
This
I'm
doesn't
out.
work.
This doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's what happened to him.
That's
It's a good thing I didn't happen because
We're
you actually came back.
referencing
And
you.
you missed the first 3.
Yeah.
And then the second game, you actually came back and were like beating everyone.
Yeah, I came
That was
back.
crazy. If you would have just quit after the first 3 shots.
That's it. Resilience,
Yeah.
right? But that's really what it comes down to, because it's a numbers game and it's a resilience game, right?
Yeah.
Most people give up, right? It's the meme, right? Where the dude's underground with the pickaxe,
Oh yeah.
right before the diamonds. Most of us turn around right before the diamonds in most areas of our life.
Yeah. So Pad Split, by the way, all sub 2 students, we have 2 Pad Split trainings inside of the sub 2 Zoom ball. Phenomenal trainings, like 2 hours long. Pad Split owners came in, broke everything down for us. We have a student down in Houston that has 6 Pad Splits. His average Pad Split's making him $1,800 a month net.
Wow.
Net. We were teasing him so bad. One of his beds didn't have a pillow on it in his photos.
Yeah.
And I was like, anyway, it was great. It was great.
You know what's crazy about Houston? Houston, Dallas, San Antonio. Those are like the hardest cities in Texas to cash flow as a regular rental, anything.
Yep.
Because the property taxes are so high. So the fact that he's making that much,
but it's
in
Pad Split.
Texas with a Pad Split, how much can you make in other cities?
You can crush it. Crush it. Absolutely crush it. Okay, so Alexis, if I were you guys agree with this? Abraham's kind of like your pseudo father right now.
For sure.
I feel like I'm your uncle. I feel like he's more your father.
I'm old enough to be your grandfather, actually.
Are you really?
If I had a kid when I was 15
So
and they had a kid when they were 15, it would be Alexis's age.
It's
right
not
now.
improbable.
That's really
People
young.
have
to
kids
have
at
a
It
15 all the
happens
time.
all the time in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most parents start at 15 in Albuquerque.
Uncle Pace.
Okay. Now we're gonna get into multifamily. Okay. Two types of multifamily in my mind. There's small multifamily, and then there's multifamily that you think of when you hear multifamily, which is like 300 units or larger. Okay. Small multifamily, I'd say, is 24 units to 100 units, somewhere in there, kind of medium, small size. You're not a big fan of multifamily.
No, I've owned a 108 unit in Atlanta, and I've owned a 54 unit in Atlanta, and I just wasn't patient. We made money on them, but like it was a grind for us, and it just took a while. Where a single family, I could keep them as long-term rentals. I could flip them really fast. When you're buying multifamily, it's not something you could like buy and flip. It takes a little bit of time. You can make a lot of money on them, and a lot of people make tons of money on them.
You got to be patient.
You have to be a little bit patient. And
it's kind of like land. It's like you don't really make money owning land for the first 2-3 years. The same thing with multifamily. Like you're not making a lot of money. You have a big score on year 3, 5, 7, 9, whatever. Sometimes you don't have a score in 3 years, depending on what's going on. Like people who bought 2 years ago multifamily are sitting in their situation right now. It's going to take them 5 years to dig out of those deals, right? So with single family, you just have so many more exit strategies. And so I've got a 43 unit in San Angelo, Texas. It's one of my favorite deals, the way I structured it. But it's a 0 down, 4% interest, 50-year note. It was the first time I did a 50-year note. I did a bunch of 40-year notes, but this was the first time I did a 50-year note. Seller finance. No balloon, 50 years. You know how I got this deal? You want to hear it?
Of course.
You okay with this story?
I love this story.
This is a good story.
I love this deal.
There's an Escalade in this story, by the way.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's a great story.
Have you ever heard a bad story from Pace?
Never.
I don't remember hearing a bad story.
I feel like Abraham's my hype man on this.
I'm not. I'm trying to think of a bad story. I'm like,
we need to get him a chain like Flavor Flav.
Flav. Okay, so here's the story. The deal comes to us. It was a broker that would not pitch terms to the seller and became expired. Our team ended up getting a hold of the seller directly. I spoke to the seller directly and I said, can I buy the property on terms? He's like, oh yeah, sub 2. His name's Mario. This guy moves from not Yugoslavia, Romania, and 35 years ago. And the first thing he does when he comes to New York City, he's an immigrant. He goes and buys a piece of land, sub 2.
Wow.
35 years ago. And I'm like, wow, creative finance? He was like, yeah, that's how I retired 20 years ago.
Wow.
He's like, everything I did was creative finance. I'm like, amazing. Cool. So I said, so you would sell to me on terms? He goes, yeah, $3 million. I want 20% down. I want 8% interest with a 5-year balloon. And I go, all right, similar to what we were talking about earlier with like mobile home parks or mobile homes or RV parks, it's like these owners need to see you in person, right? Old school people, right? The deal you and Lonzo lost, the deal that you guys just recently lost, Jamari, is basically pulling up, somebody else beat you to it, right?
Yep.
So I go, all right, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to just meet you. I go, can we just meet? I'm going to be in Texas anyway. No reason for me to be in San Angelo, Texas, by the way. In order to get to San Angelo, Texas, you have to fly to Dallas and drive 3.5 hours to San Angelo. Yeah. Okay. That's Texas for you. So I get down there and I'm like, I got to find the bunnies. I got to find the bunnies. I got to find the problem. Got to find the issue. This guy, nothing against old school, like foreigners, but they're the best negotiators on the planet. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah. Holy moly.
And their blood.
They're proud of their negotiation.
Oh, yeah. It's like they live to negotiate.
Mm-hmm.
So he wouldn't give me anything over the phone. And I just know if I can't get something over the phone, even like with how skilled you are, sometimes the best thing to do is just let me get there. Right. So I get there. He pulls up in his Escalade. He's got his kid with him. And his kid never gets out of the car. And so I'm just like, all right, whatever. We got to stay close to the car and negotiate right here on the hood of your Escalade while it's running. It's loud engine, right? Type of thing. And we're sitting here chatting and talking and da-da-da-da. And I can't get anywhere. I can't find any way to get in under this guy's skin. So I go, Mario, you want to have your kid like get out and like be able to walk around? We can walk around the property. He's like, no, he hates this property.
There it is.
I'm like, ooh, there's the bunnies.
How old is he?
He's 12.
Okay.
Funny you ask. Do you know this story?
I never heard it.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy.
Funny you ask how old he was because I said, oh, Why does he hate the property? He says, Mario says, well, let me put it this way. On his 11th birthday, he asked his mother, my wife, for his birthday, what I want for my birthday is my dad to love me as much as he loves his tenants.
Wow.
Bunnies.
Yeah.
Bunnies. And he says, make it even worse. On his 12th birthday, which was just a couple of months ago, he told his mom, I just wish dad would spend as much time with me as he does with his tenants. 2 years in a row, that's this kid's freaking his ask.
Right.
So he hates the property. Why? Because Mario's going over there, exchanging the toilets, fixing the light bulbs, dealing with the crap, fighting with the managers, blah, 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 blah.
Stealing the kid's time.
Stealing the kid's time. And the kid's at that sweet age. Like, it's your daughter right now. How old is she?
She's 11.
11. And all she wants to do is hang out with her dad. I watch her.
Yeah.
She wants to hang out with her dad. She wants to show off to her dad. I watch your daughter almost go out of her way to get her dad's attention all the time.
A couple more years, she won't even care anymore.
Right. So but these are the golden years, right?
Yeah.
So Mario realizes this, and I go, ooh, bunnies, 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 bunnies. Phone call, couldn't do it. Just trying to negotiate about the property, couldn't do it. Right. What was my first lesson when I bought my first deal? Bethany Willis says, remember, Pace, it's never about the house. And so I was like, oh, shit, I've been making this whole thing about the house. So I tell Mario, I go, you know what? Why don't we turn this asset into the greatest gift you could ever give to your son? He's like, what do you mean? I said, imagine your son at age 62 years old receiving a check for $11,000. And every single month prior to that, his 62nd birthday, all the way till his 62nd birthday, he's going to be reminded every single month by a check of $11,000 that his dad loved him. And this property will mean something to your son for the next 50 years. And Mario was like, so you're asking me to do a 50-year note? I go, that's exactly what I'm asking you to do. He goes, all right, where do I sign?
Positioning.
Wow.
It's all about the positioning.
Framing.
Dude, this is not a sales podcast, but just the amount of just knowing how to have conversations, and it'll make you a billionaire. I mean, it just will.
Mario text. You know what? Here, I'll show you. When is the last time Mario texted? This is a couple of years ago, by the way. Mario texts me all the time.
Does he have more properties that he wanted to sell or had to sell, or this was the only one?
Okay. By the way, okay, he says every time, Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Easter. Literally texts me all the time.
Wow.
All the time. He says, I will have an amazing deal for you in a few months. Okay. Thank you. Hold on. I should text him. Any deals coming up?
Wow.
I mean, think about that, guys. Like, he went from this guy stonewalling him, right? This is, I want this crazy numbers. A lot of you guys are going to give up on these deals, right? But you saw past the deal and you saw the person and you did what it took. And now you have, not only do you have a deal that most people would have said was impossible, you have him sending you Merry Christmas and Happy Birthday, thanking you.
Yeah. And then he said, a year and a half after, he says, April 9th of this year, he says, I will have one amazing deal for you in a few months. Okay. Thank you. So, you become friends with your sellers like a lot of us have. And sometimes your sellers become your private money lenders, which is awesome too. Mario has also done an interview for the YouTube channel. He gave me 19 reasons why he sold that property to me on seller finance.
Wow.
19 reasons. You're like, damn, 19 reasons. Number one, he was like, I actually want to retire. If I retire and I sell this at 3 million, I'm going to have to 1031 into another deal, or I'm going to have to take a big capital gains hit. I bought it for $1 million. I'm selling it to you for 3 million. And I go, okay, well, the seller finance solves that. He's like, yeah, dude. And at 4% interest, the amount of interest I'll make will supersede any capital gains I ever pay on this deal. So no survey, no appraisal, no this. He just kept going through and he gave me 19 reasons. And all the way at the end, his 19th reason was like, and the final reason is I hate real estate agents. I was like, oh my gosh, this interview is going to seem like I paid you to say this stuff. Okay. But here's the thing. I'm doing the same thing with that 43 unit that I'm doing with that mobile home or that RV park, where I'm taking the cash flow from that property. It's 11 grand a month. I make 11 G's a month on that. No, I'm sorry. My payment to Mario is 11,000. It brings in 39 grand a month. My net on that property is about 18 G's a month.
Wow.
Okay. It's 18 G's a month because I made the terms 50 years.
Yeah.
My payment is hella low. So small. So what do I do with that money is I put it right back into his property. He hadn't renovated the property in like 7 years. So we're going through, and last time I was there, actually, we had to call the cops. Did you guys see this on my Instagram stories?
Is that what the dude was?
Yes.
Yeah.
The guy was attacking Sonia, one of our sub 2 students, and he's psychologically not there. One of my tenants. He was a government sponsored psychopath, basically. And he sees Sonia, this redhead, and he loses his mind. We had to lock her in the management's office, and we had to call the police, and the police had to like escort her to the car. And as they were escorting her to the car, he's swinging his cane at the police officers, like, "That's my bitch. Oh, that's my, you get her out of that car." And I'm like, welcome to real estate. This is the best thing ever.
Wow.
Sonia was shaking. And then I had dinner with her that night. She was like, I told you not to come to the property. She's like, I didn't believe you. So anyway, that's a good property, but I do spend a lot of the cash flow, the extra cash flow, on rehabbing the property, because multifamily is one of these things that it has the deferred maintenance on multifamily and RV parks and mobile home parks can be really significant. Whereas a single family home, it's like, I can get the repairs done in 30 days,
right,
and it's cash flowing.
Yep.
Right. So I don't want to be a slumlord and own these properties and not take my cash flow. That's the reason why some of these guys get to a point where they buy the property, they suck out all the cash flow for 20 years. Mm-hmm. Then it gets to a point where like, I don't want to spend any money on this.
Yeah.
That happens to most people.
I'll sell it. Okay. Big multifamily. Okay. Big multifamily. Oh, Jerry Norton says hi, guys. He's watching.
What up, Jerry?
Shout out Jerry Norton. Shout out Jerry Norton. He's on the channel tonight.
Is he in Puerto Rico or is he in Montana right now?
He's in Montana right now. I'm gonna be in Puerto Rico with him next week, actually. Not a fun situation. But anyway, okay. Let's skip the rest of multifamily. Let's jump. We got 2 more things. Okay. Businesses and cars.
Yeah.
Okay. So businesses. I know a recent story of yours on the business side. You've got a business right now that you're negotiating for me, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I want to jump to you on some of your most recent creative deals that you've done with businesses, buying businesses. What's the story with the plumbing company? Where did you find it? What's going on with it? What's our next step?
Yeah, so the plumbing company is...
By the way, guys, this is an 18-year-old answering this question, okay? So if you're somebody who's like, I'm 50, I'm 60, it's too late for me, guys, I promise you it's not. You can start super young. You can go all the way till you're 91, 92 years old.
Chad Glover is really dope, and he's almost 70.
Yeah, we all have to carry him around. He has a wheelchair.
Yep.
So you got a plumbing company that you're actively negotiating for me.
Yep.
And where did you find the deal? What's going on with it? What's the next step?
Yep. So this deal was on
microphone close to your face.
Sorry. This deal was on market, and this seller wants to retire. Common motivation when selling a business. And the reason why he's willing to do owner finance is because everyone who's given him a cash offer for his business is lowballing him. And so he has a real business. He doesn't train new employees. He doesn't manage the day-to-day. He has a foreman. It's a plumbing company, so that's what it's called. The guy who really runs the operations. And yeah, he's ready to exit.
Why have we? I texted Cody. He sent me a text. He's like, "Hey, Alexis found a plumbing company on seller finance." I was like, "Buy that." Why have we not bought it yet?
Because we need to investigate the financials.
Is that an important thing to do, Abraham?
Crucial. Yeah, I mean,
and why is that?
Well, because people lie on their financials, like crazy. So you have to make sure that the numbers are legitimate. You have to verify and do due diligence on the financials. You also have to do due diligence on other stuff, depending on how you're buying it. Like the more owner finance you do, the less due diligence you have to do. But I don't know the structure of this particular deal, but you want to make sure that you're buying a good deal.
Have you had owners of businesses lie to you on their financials?
He's like every time.
And do you remember anything that is like
pretty much almost every deal?
Like, have you not had owners lie?
Some lies, some lies are very small, and some lies are crazy. But some lies aren't even like lies in the seller's mind. Like they think they're telling the truth, like they don't even know they're lying because they don't understand the financials the way they should. So
yeah. That's giving them the benefit of the doubt, which I really appreciate. I think that that's actually really accurate. Like most people that I know, small business owners that are doing $1 a year in revenue, all the way up to probably $2 million a year in revenue, have no idea what's going on with their money.
Yeah.
Right. So like, and you would be one of those. You manage your own money, right?
Correct.
And it's like, are you pretty good with your money?
I'm implementing secret.
Okay, so
Secrets of
the answer is
Mind and
no,
Profit First.
not currently.
We're getting there.
Okay, we're getting there.
We're getting there.
You know how many times business owners say that all the way until somebody just buys them? The day they start the business to the day somebody buys them, they say, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. You know what? We're just selling. We're just going to sell the business. Is there ever been anything that was so obvious that you're like, dude, how did you miss this?
I mean, mostly in businesses that, do a lot of cash. That's probably where the biggest craziness is. So like, I don't even give people credit for cash unless.
So you're talking like a nail salon,
anything that's
barber.
Like, a lot of cash. Anything that has a lot of cash, you can't trust them because who knows? So like, there's different ways to do it, but you got to base what you're paying on it based on the previous tax, the previous tax returns, or else, you could buy it owner finance. You can say, okay, fine. You're doing $1 million, even though you only claim you're doing 50,000 on your taxes. Fine. I'll pay you based on $1 million, but it's got to be 100% owner finance at that price.
Yeah.
And, at that point, they can't lie to you because you're paying them based on what they're making. So you make it, in the agreement. If you're lying, you're going to get a lot less. If you're telling the truth, then fine. I'm happy.
That's a gold nugget right there that somebody, if you did not pick up on that, you should write that down. You go to the owner and you structure a deal based on the actual income.
Yep.
You go, no problem.
That they claim.
Right. If you say, oh, cool, awesome. We don't need to go through and verify all this stuff. Your $50,000 IRS claim is way different than the $1 million you're telling me you're making.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Perfect. No problem. If that's the case, let's create a structure that a percentage of the revenue gets paid to you every month. Mm-hmm. And they're going to be like,
then you know if they're telling the truth or not.
There you go. I love that. It's a great nugget. Okay. Let's say Quijano, because here's what's going to happen, right? Sub 2 community is going to start seeing a lot of businesses exchanging and all that kind of stuff. Can you wholesale a business? You're going to start seeing this guy wholesaling everything.
Yeah. So there was somebody in Sub 2 that joined, same year I joined, 2020, Tron fan. He, went through a whole bunch of, we went through a whole bunch of this stuff, and he actually wholesales businesses right now. The first business that he wholesaled, he made $120,000 on.
Holy moly.
Yeah. He was making 10 to 20,000 wholesaling real estate. And, now he's making 6 figures wholesaling businesses.
Quijano, what would you say is your average assignment fee in your wholesale business? Can you tell
15
him?
15 to 20.
Okay. 15 to 20. What does he need? He needs a bookkeeper, right?
Bookkeeper.
Yeah, for sure.
He's working on it though.
Yeah.
He's getting there.
Yeah, he's getting there.
He's getting there.
We're all getting
It's
there.
in my other inbox.
Okay. So let's say $15,000-$20,000. That's pretty spectacular. You can make $100,000, $200,000 on a business, probably almost every time.
Yeah. The way you do it is you reverse engineer it. You find these big businesses that want to buy bolt-ons, that want to increase their business right now. And you say, look, if I find you a business, and you basically figure out the commission ahead of time. So instead of going to businesses trying to buy them and lock them up, you don't just go around and lock up businesses. You go around and find the big businesses that want to buy smaller businesses. You work deals with them, and then you lock up the deals based on what they want, and you already have a buyer.
How far are you taking it? Are you putting an LOI out there?
Of course. Yeah. I mean, you do the diligence, and after you underwrite it, you basically, put it under contract, and then you pass it on to the person, the CFO or, CEO or whoever's going to then buy it for the big company. And again, you already know everything that they want. So once you look at everything, it's going to make sense or not. And then based on, what they want to pay. And if you could structure the deal, especially with a big creative deal, like most businesses are bought super creatively. I don't even know any businesses that are bought with cash. It just doesn't even happen. Like I know some businesses are bought with 90% cash, but that's because they get like these SBA loans and different things.
Yeah.
But no one pays. There's so many reasons why you can't pay cash for a business because you just don't know what you don't know. And it's like with real estate, you could inspect it. You know exactly how much the rehab is going to cost. With a business, there's so many intricate details with the customers and employees and inventory. You're going to need help from that owner for so long. If you pay them in cash, you're not going to get any help. you need help from that owner for a long period of time, and by owing them money, you're always gonna-
I just got a text message from Mario, by the way. I have not texted Mario since April, so I texted him. And what did he say, Alexis?
Let me read this text from Mario. I will call you in a few days, but I will do the same deal, owner finance at 5% for 50 years fixed mortgage. So you will have bigger cash flow! Exclamation point.
Jesus. Pace Morby, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
I remember Pace telling me, "Look, I never thought I'd ever be buying in San Angelo, and now you own tons of stuff in San Angelo."
Yeah, I have
Crazy.
like 8 or 9 single family homes, and I have like 70 multi-family doors there. Yeah.
I don't even know where that's at. It's 3.5 hour drive from an airport. That's crazy.
Yeah, from like a
Insane.
big airport that I could get there. Yeah. There's like a muni airport there, and it's a growing town. It's got a Texas. It's got a airport. I'm sorry. It's got a college, and then it's got a massive medical center that a lot of people go to. It's like it helps people with COPD, which is a breathing issue. So a lot of people are going in there and retiring. A lot of new builds going there. So I just found this small little market that was actually growing in Texas. People are like, I want to be out of the big city, but I also don't want to be away from like Applebee's.
Does it have a Buc-ee's?
No, unfortunately.
That's unfortunate.
I wish we had a Buc-ee's here.
Can you franchise Buc-ee's?
No, they're like in and out, dude.
Ah, that's rough.
Yeah, we should just call it. We should just call one our own.
We should do it and change the first letter.
Yeah, to PH.
PH.
Yeah.
Cookies.
But how funny is that a seller
Yep.
that I bought a property from 2 years ago, I'm just talking about him on a podcast. I text him to
insane.
check in
So
on him.
crazy.
So something really cool about that story. This is something I do that I get a lot of deals that most people don't do. Every single time you buy a deal off someone, you follow up with them 3 months later, 6 months later, a year later,
Yeah.
and they'll sell you more deals because the first deal was a win-win for everyone. They'll say, so I literally get deals just by doing, you just got a deal, like an incredible deal just by doing that. How many people have ability to do that don't do that?
Fortune's in the follow-up.
Yeah, he's texting me back right now. He says it's in Corpus Christi where I own. So it turns out I already own in Corpus Christi. Actually, shout out Myron and Carolyn. I see you guys in here. Hey, Asher, I don't know if you can read the comments up there, but I'd love to get a couple of questions before we wrap up tonight. So guys, in the comments, let's ask some questions. Whatever you guys got tonight, we'll have Asher pick a few of them. Asher, if you move your mouse over to the comments and click on them, they will pop up on the screen. Click on a couple of them. We'll show you.
Question for you.
There you
While he's pulling that up for you, Abraham.
Hold on.
Oh.
He wants to call me right now.
Oh my God. Let's
Wow,
do it.
That would be awesome.
Okay, this is Mario, my seller. You can tell he's hard to negotiate with.
Hey, how you doing, my friend? How is everything?
How you doing, brother? What are you doing?
Busy. Oh my God. I've been all over the place, trying to deal with the permits and stuff like that. I had to do some electrical work.
Man, I thought you were going to retire.
Yeah, but I'm trying to retire to get everything ready for you because I'm trying to do the same thing what we did there.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do the same thing, 50-year, fix. So
I
you
love
have a
it.
bigger cash flow,
Thank you, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I
this is
love
work
Corpus
for you and it
Christi.
works for me,
I have 30 doors in Corpus Christi, so I appreciate that. I will 100% buy that.
Exactly, and it's in a great area. And I was talking to I think no, listen, what was the other lady?
Molly.
She called me and I asked her, yeah, Molly. I say, if you need anything, because here I have a vacation home in Corpus. I say, you know what? I can go and check your contractor, make sure everything is done. I don't want any money. I just want to make sure everything is good, or give you some ideas and everything. I say, I don't need nothing for me,
Wow,
I just
thank
want
you.
to make sure they don't take advantage of you.
Are you in San Antonio right now?
No, I'm in Corpus.
Oh, are you on vacation?
Yeah.
Amazing. We need to hang out. When are you going to be back home in San Antonio?
In a couple, because my son starts school pay, so in a couple of weeks or so,
Okay, well let's touch base. I'll shoot you a text in a couple of weeks. I'll be passing through Texas. Maybe I can stop by.
To see you maybe somewhere, and the way I'm doing, seeing this Corpus Christi is excellent location. You know what I'm saying? So those I bought multiple properties here, and I want to sell it to you, everything as a package deal.
Love it.
But we're gonna do that. That's what I'm saying, owner finance, 50-year fix. You know what I'm saying? So
Man.
that's even better for you.
Your kid,
And cash flowing here is a good rent. You know,
your kid is going to receive a lot of money even when Mario's gone. How cool is that?
It works for me. I saw the video. You know, but I'm saying for me, the way I calculated, I'm just want to retire. You know, but now is perfect time. I had deals subject to everything. Those people, they don't know what they're doing. I say, oh my God, you know, I used to do those Pace so many years ago.
I remember your first deal in New York City was a piece of land subject to.
Yeah, subject to. And then I had to even go back. Nobody told me this, but I'm saying I had to even because this guy was like going almost bankruptcy. So I say, in the event of a bankruptcy, you got to give me the first right of refusal if the bank they want to take it over or something.
Mario, you and me should travel the world and teach people about subject to.
Yeah, no, you have more knowledge than me. You're younger.
Oh, whatever, man.
I have just experience because I'm saying for me, I don't know if you remember, but I came Pace like only with $60. I didn't speak even good English, you know what I'm saying? So I had to hustle, and you know what I'm saying? All this knowledge I have through the deals from here and there, what I did, you know?
Yeah, that's why I want to hang out with you. I want to just talk shop with you, maybe grab some dinner in San Antonio when you guys are back home.
Oh, yeah. I got you. And then I was going to tell you, he's a lot of stuff going foreclosure. So I'm just going to give you some deals like a pre-foreclosure. I got one house basically for free. I was not going to even buy it, but I did the reinstatement, so I had to pay it. He had like some kind of a solar panel. I didn't did the due diligence. He had a second mortgage, but it was a good deal, and I'm just going to rent it out. And, you know, I might just throw whatever houses I have here, you know, something they're under 100 and something thousand each, so it makes sense for you to rent them out, you know.
Okay, cool.
Not expensive property. So we might do a package deal on everything, but this house I picked it up with no money down.
I love it, man. Give me your package.
Yeah, I'll give you the package and everything. So for the house, you might have to assume some of the mortgages, but there with all the right paperwork. I got a good title company here, which they know how to do the subject too, you know what I'm saying, with everything.
No problem.
They got to give you the online access, you know how it works. They got to give you power of attorney and everything, you know.
I love it.
The original, by the way. But you know more than me.
Well,
you know way more than me.
I love doing business with you. So let's text. I'll text you in a couple of weeks, and hopefully I can get in see you, and we can grab some dinner.
Exactly, my friend. And I had a question for you since I have you on the phone. See, if you remember the last time I waived whatever, all this fee and everything for this one, do you have any deal for me? I'm looking for a good house, but I don't want to pay any money, but I want to get it to assume. So it's got to be...
What city?
Near Texas, but it's got to be, you know what I'm saying, kind of like a mansion from my end.
Okay, so this is for your aunt.
For my end, but I'm just gonna probably live in it too, you know.
So we could find you a mansion so easy. Me and the whole community, our sub 2 community, could find a house for you quick.
The sub 2, get me something, you know what I'm saying, with you know, I can just take over the payments, you know.
Okay.
Something nice, but I'm looking for
is your
like
aunt
an acre of land.
Is your aunt looking for? Do you know if your aunt's looking for a husband? I got a really good guy named Kevin Cho that we could connect her with.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, good. All right, good.
With her husband, you know, she's married, but I'm saying maybe they can do a threesome. Who knows? Who knows? You know? I don't know what they're into, but I'm saying I'll propose this to them.
Okay, I love it.
And maybe her sister. Who knows? You know, keep it in the family, like a finger.
Oh, Mario.
Alabama, how you call how you call a redneck orgy?
What?
A family reunion. That's how they call it here in Alabama.
Oh my gosh.
Family reunion, you know?
Oh, Mario, you're the best. All right.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. You have excellent sense and humor, but get me something nice, my friend. Like
I will.
you know,
We'll find you
like this,
something. One
just
acre
similar to
mansion.
your house. Yeah, similar to your house, the one you have. I saw the video, but I'm saying I don't want to pay crazy money. You know what I'm saying? Maybe here in Texas, you can find them under $1 million. You know, 800,000.
We'll find you something
like that.
You don't care what city?
You know what I'm saying? And to take over the payment, to have a little bit of equity. You know what I mean? As an investor, you don't want to pay a retail. You know,
Of course.
is either is the terms or the price. You know, you gotta negotiate. But I'm saying, I know how you say, I'll take care of you. I'm looking to get you another deal. I'm very happy. Everything is on the dot. And I was going to tell for this lady, if you have any problems in San Angelo, maybe I can go and put them in place if they know how to handle it, because they're the contractors. They're very expensive. So
no, I think we're doing okay. We bought a bunch of single family sub 2 deals there too, and I got another small multifamily deals. So we're starting to buy enough property to get good prices with contractors.
Yeah, and you gotta to make sure, because they say one thing, then they got you with another thing.
Exactly.
You know, to don't have like you know, whatever site orders, you know, all this stuff, because with these contractors, you know, we just gotta negotiate. That's the thing, and you know.
Yep.
And if they don't do it by the time, specified time, you just gotta charge them maybe like a little penalty or something to give you better off on the next deal or something like that, you know?
Yeah, that's a good idea. All right. Well,
I got you.
Give me 2 weeks. I'll text you. Okay.
Yeah, I got you. So you're coming for Texas for how long?
I'm going to come for about a week.
Oh, okay. And you're going to go to San Antonio? Or
yeah, I'm buying 4 properties in San Antonio.
Yeah, so San Antonio, just to teach you something, is good on the northwest side, the north central. The northeast is kind of shady a little bit, and the south side is kind of shady. So you have to see. But I'm saying, if anything, I help you to reposition it. I'm not going to even charge you anything, you know?
Okay, cool.
I just have to see the location.
I just want you to take me to a really good restaurant of your people.
Oh, over there, maybe we go to the river walk. San Antonio is really nice, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
we had you're from Arizona, right? We had a house in Sedona, but we sold it, you know, near Flagstaff. I don't know where you.
Yeah, that's like 3 hours away from us.
Yeah, but this Arizona is beautiful with these cactuses and everything.
Oh, it's so nice,
I love
man.
this state, you know.
So nice.
Perfect, my friend. So I wish you best of luck, but we're gonna do definitely business. Find me something, text it to me something if you wanna get rid of it, you know.
Okay.
It's gotta be like over 3,000-4,000 square foot. I'm not picky, but it's gotta have like a land, and then the architecture, I'm kind of picky. We want a Mediterranean style, you know what I'm saying? Something like your house. You know?
I love it. Okay, we'll look for something.
All righty, my friend. So anywhere in Texas, it could be Valverde, it could be Spring Ranch or whatever it is, you know, it can be the north side of San Antonio, you know, so we'll see somewhere, you know.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
I got you, my friend, and I work on your deals. I'm going to get you all these apartments. I'm going to text you the pictures and everything. Those are all rented, renovated. I'm changing the windows. I want to get you the whole package, you know. I'm dealing only with you. I had some cash offers. I said, no way. I'm dealing with Pace, you know. We're going to do, how you say, this owner financing. It works perfect for me, you know.
Yes, baby. I love it.
I love it too, you know. But God bless you, my friend. And I'll see you in a couple weeks or whatever. You know, if anything, we might even go to Arizona vacation.
Oh, I love Don't come right now. It's too hot. But yes, anytime you come here.
Yeah, in September. So, I mean, October or something.
Yeah, please. You know? When it cools down, my guest house is your house anytime you want.
I appreciate it, my friend. But we'll stay or we just drive around and see. We like to take a family trip, you know.
Okay, cool.
I appreciate you, my friend. Okay. God bless you, and I take care, and I thank you for calling me.
Have a good.
I work on a great deal for you. You're gonna be very pleasantly happy with everything. You know?
I love it. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
Me too. God bless you, my friend.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Oh my
Corpus
God.
Christi is excellent location,
Tell me how gangster I am that I got a 50-year note with that guy.
Yeah.
bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's just talking so much.
How would you negotiate that? You have to find the bunnies. Now, what's funny is what he did is after I did an interview with him, so I bought the deal. I then flew out there and we recorded like the day we closed escrow, and I did a bunch of interviews with him. He's like, "What are you going to do with these interviews?" Like, I'm going to put them on YouTube. He's like, "Oh, damn, I'm going to be on your YouTube. Do you have a YouTube?" He's like, "Is this a new channel?" I go, well, "Hold on, here you go." He's like, "You have 100,000 subscribers."
Wow.
Yeah.
So he started digesting all my content and then texting me all the time, like, "Your house is beautiful. Oh, what you did here was so creative," and da 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 da. So he just wants to talk to me about creative finance now.
You know what's special? Oh, there's like 100 things that's special about that because he was like the world's biggest advocate for creative finance, right? But when you really listen to that conversation, right, this guy literally is going to bat and working for you to make sure you get the best deal.
Yes.
Right? Someone should teach how to have these kind of conversations so that you get people to do that stuff for you.
Yeah, Quijano. That's what Quijano does.
It's incredible, man. I think people just miss it, right? And we talked about this earlier, right? People get so focused on the deal and the numbers and the property, and that really has nothing to do with it. Yeah. It's all about what everybody just watched.
How many people do you have in your phone that you've bought houses from that you can text at? By the way, you know what time it is where he's at?
Couple hours.
It's almost 11 o'clock. It's 10. It's 10:45 where he's at, and he sends me a text like, "Hey, why don't we just call? Just call me." You know, and that's why I call them. So, how many people do you have in your phone? Do I do that with every seller? No, but when I was like heavy in the game on the negotiating side, now we've got a team that does all that. But when I was heavy in that, like all my sellers and I were texting. We all become friends. I could text any one of my sellers. I did a deal a year and a half ago, and my team could not get it over the finish line. It was two properties on the same two houses on the same property, 0 down, 0% seller finance on both. I ended up renting it to Patrick, who does sober living, and I charged him double rent what I normally could have gotten. And the lady texts me for like months and months. "Hey, let's go out to dinner. Let's go on a double date. I'll bring my husband down. Let's do all this stuff." And it's just like, is this really my life?
Wow.
Like, it's the coolest thing ever. And then I also get to play connect the dots with Kevin Cho and some Romanian
like
lady.
That. Romanian threesome.
The threesome thing had
her
me
sister.
dying.
Her sister.
Yeah, it's sister.
Yeah, keep it in the family.
Reunion.
Yeah, that could be the OnlyFans.
Keep it in the family.
Keep it in the family.
Okay, so Asher, we got some questions, right, brother?
We still got to get back to the cars. The cars is interesting to me, and a lot of people always ask me about the cars.
Okay, we'll get to cars.
Okay.
Yeah, we're chilling. I mean, Asher feels like he wants to go to bed right now. Guys, give it up for Asher in the comments, please. He's running the switcher board and helping out tonight. We've had a lot of people tune in. We had a little over 950 people tune in tonight. We're down to like 800 because people didn't like hearing from Mario, but it is what it is.
Unfortunate. I think they're here for Alexis.
They are definitely here.
Right.
Alexis, are you single?
I am.
All right, what are you looking for right now?
She actually has. We've been talking about trying to hook her. I'm trying to find someone for her. So she actually is actively looking right now.
Are you looking for an
What's your buy box?
An LDS person, a Mormon?
So I've
She has a buy box.
I have a buy box. The buy box is at least 24, 25.
Yeah, there we go. I like that.
Vision.
Your vision.
Like they have
Hardworking.
eyesight?
No. They have a vision.
Can they have an eye? Can they have an eye patch covering one eye?
No.
Okay, so they have vision, like they know what they want in their life.
They have clarity on where they're going.
Up to how is he? From 24 to what?
24 to like I'm maxing out at 32, 33.
Yeah, I think that's a good.
That's kind of weird.
That's a lot after that.
I think if a 30-year-old was dating an 18-year-old, I think that's out of this question. I think you could do 24 to 28.
Yeah,
Okay.
and at 24, 8 is getting weird because you're only like you're about to be 18.
Yeah.
Well, you've been telling everyone I'm 18.
Well, you're 19.
Yeah, 19.
He's still a teenager.
Yeah.
Okay, so they have to be in real estate,
No.
business.
Yes.
They can't be a loser.
Yeah.
They have to have something in their life. And then one thing you're picky about is you said that you don't want to make sure it's someone that's not going to like cheat on you.
Yeah. No cheating.
Yeah.
They're picky about that for some reason.
What do you mean? That's like the bare minimum.
It's bare minimum for sure.
It's bare minimum.
Abraham never dated anybody else but his wife. So he
He
don't.
was trying to give
Really?
advice to Kevin.
26
I had to
years.
give advice to Kevin.
You're like, don't listen, Abraham.
pick up
Don't listen to
girls.
Abraham.
How many
He,
kids do you want to have?
At least 5.
At least 5.
that's good. I like that. That's
Go.
good.
At
I like
least
that.
five.
So I
That's
think
good.
she's leaning more Morbin.
You definitely.
I heard today that a great place to look is First Watch because apparently
First,
First
oh yeah,
Watch
that's a brunch.
breakfast
It's a
place?
brunch
Yeah.
location.
How does somebody get a hold of you? How do they put the resume in?
interesting.
The application.
PaceandAbraham.com.
So you did role plays for Kevin today. Did
Yeah.
you do role plays for yourself? Right? Like
No.
What ethnicity is like the one that like just you're the hottest about? like that?
Hispanics.
Koreans,
How do you know that?
Hispanics.
You know,
Let's
I don't
go.
know what it is lately, but like, so Jamil has a stepdaughter that it has she's like part African American.
Yeah.
And she's like, there, it's a thing right now. Like, we're all into Hispanic guys with little mustaches.
Just so we're
Oh my
clear,
God.
Pace. Hispanic guys have always been a thing, right?
They have to be, of course.
That's not new.
This says the guy, says the green chili over here hanging out. So that's
That was my
that's the
nickname in high
vibe. The
school.
vibe is Hispanic.
Yeah, but I'm not like gonna close everyone off.
You know, they're not that great at basketball, right?
Well,
Fair point. Either is she,
neither am I.
Yeah.
Contrary to popular belief.
but they're great at
you know?
soccer. So
Yeah, they are great at
They are
soccer.
good at
Yeah, yeah,
soccer.
yeah. Okay.
Soccer's the vibe.
So Hispanic is the vibe.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, cool.
I like it.
That's cool. Asher, what do we got on questions, brother?
Doing deals is
Myron asked a question about the plumbing company that
Yeah.
you're negotiating. What's the down payment on the plumbing company?
yeah, it's 100K. Well, the guy's asking 100K.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
We're doing 0 down.
Zero
that's the
down,
vibe.
0 down.
What's the full price that they're asking?
800 grand.
So they want like 12.
No. His revenue's 800 grand. He
baby.
wants
He's
this.
asking 600 grand.
He's
with a
asking-
100K down payment.
He's asking 600 grand for a business that generates $800,000 a year in revenue.
That's interesting.
What's his net profit?
He nets. Well, we have to investigate this.
Of
Number
course.
because this is
Of
why we haven't
course.
really made an offer yet.
Yep.
But he's claiming that he's netting around 270.
Is
Okay.
it common for a
I could see
business
that.
to sell an owner to sell their business for less than annual revenue?
Yes.
Normally you want to have a
Annual
multiple.
revenue is relevant.
You usually go for EBITDA. Yeah.
Yeah,
how
exactly.
How much are they making?
Yeah.
So
What's your
it's-
take? What's your take home?
What's your take home? And usually, on average, for this type of price range business, they usually go for around 3 times what they make.
Yeah. So
You could get them for 2 times. You get them for 3.
Yeah.
times,
This is.
4.
I
It
think the
depends.
price is a good price.
Yeah, so if his net is true, I think this is a great deal to move forward with. The problem that we have right now is that we don't know if he probably is based on Abraham's giggle.
Always.
But
They could be manipulating his P&Ls and everything, but it's very rare that they manipulate the tax returns because that just makes them have to pay a lot more taxes. Now,
Yeah.
if they know they're selling it within the next year or so, they can manipulate a year. They're not going to manipulate 3 years worth of tax returns because
Mhm.
they don't know 3 years ahead of time that they're selling it usually. So I would look at, you always look at the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And, if all of a sudden it was 3 years ago, 2 years
1 year
ago,
looks
and then 1
really
year ago,
good.
this is unbelievable,
Yeah.
then maybe, they can manipulate that a little bit. But again, they don't typically manipulate that because that makes them pay a lot more taxes.
Why are they selling?
He wants to retire. He never built out his business
Hmm.
in a way that
When somebody tells you, "I want to retire," do you really think they want to retire, or is it that they are like,
especially
"I'm
with plumbers,
overwhelmed"?
they're usually full of shit. So I would say that
Quite literally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
no, but they are, a lot of them are trying to retire. How old are they? You figure out how old they are. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Are they trying to really retire?
yeah, he's in his late 60s.
So that makes sense. I mean, that definitely
He's
someone in
doing
their
the
late
work himself.
60s is going to want to retire.
He's still hands on. I bet.
He is in a higher level management position.
Okay, got it.
Still a
not
shitty
customer
business.
facing.
Asher, what else we
Not
got?
customer facing.
If you're not customer
Pop
facing,
me
it
up
doesn't
some questions on that screen so I can see them. Something you're curious. You're like, I really want to know.
I still want to know why he's finding the next one. So Abraham, I got 3 acquisitions people started next week, right? Let's say I wanted to take one of them
for real
Yeah,
estate.
do it.
for real estate,
Yeah.
correct? But let's say I wanted to take one of them and I go crazy. It's a party. You
Yeah.
guys inspired me. You beat me at basketball the first time. So now I want to catch up.
Yeah.
If I wanted to get one of them and get them to just find businesses, what do I do? What am I employing them to do?
So it depends on which route you want to go. Obviously, you can go the on-market route, which I probably buy 20% of my businesses on market.
Okay.
Or you go the off-market route, which you get much better deals. So you would have to figure out a buy box. You'd have to figure out what type of businesses do you want to buy, what areas do you want to buy them in.
You got to go to it. Like for me, this is what we're doing. So same thing for Abraham.
Yeah.
I go to Alexis and I go, hey, look, I'm a skilled operator. I don't want to be the one finding the deals anymore. We did that. Elon Musk doesn't install the tires, right?
Correct.
Santa Claus doesn't make the toys. So we go to her and we go, hey, We want to hire you. What are we paying you?
$50 an hour.
$50 an
bonus,
hour plus a bonus when we find a deal, right?
LOI closing. All this
Okay, cool. So she's doing outreach based on your buy box only.
Okay.
So we get down and we're like, all right, we want service-based businesses in Arizona, handyman, plumber, electrician, HVAC, all that stuff. We want this, and this. We want a property management. We went through and basically created 12 types of things we were looking for and where they should be and minimum dollar amount, how long they've been in business. And we created that buy box. Our buy box is we don't want to look at anything under $1 million a year in revenue or relatively close to that. Why would we not want to do that, Abraham?
Because most businesses make, 20, 30% margin. But once you get to like under that, they don't really have a good management team in place
or anything at all, right?
Or any SOPs or anything in place. And one of the reasons why you buy businesses is because you're not buying a job, you're buying a business that's cash flowing. And the smaller businesses, typically you're almost like buying a job, or you have to like figure out everything or have to hire like top man. You don't want to do that. That's not why.
So when you're going to wholesale one, let's say you wholesale me one, right? And you're like, I want $100,000 finder's fee. I'm not going to want to buy a business from you that doesn't have a face of the operation or somebody who's actually in high level management.
To a degree.
To a certain degree, yeah.
Yeah. So okay, if I'm having somebody find real estate, they're going to Privy, they're going to PropStream, they're going to Batch. If I want to find off-market businesses, where are they going? Where am I sending?
So there's a few different sites that you could be members on, and it shows you that stuff, but it's super expensive. There's no need for that. I literally do everything through Google. I'll Google every single business in whatever area, and then we will cross-reference them with our VAs to make sure that they're still in business, have the right address. I do a lot of different things to find these off to so I do letters, I do LinkedIn, I do, we do some texting, cold calling. We actually go to the places. We do all different types of strategies to get the deals. But literally, when I do letters, I'll write down I'll send it to the business and I'll send it to the owner's homes. And then, we have a follow-up process if they don't call back, and, we send a second letter out, then we start calling them and different things. So, obviously we can go through this later. It's a long process, but that's kind of like how to start.
Gotcha. There's a couple of websites that we're currently using. There's Biz by Sell is like probably the most popular one.
Everybody knows.
On market,
It's on market. Biz by Sell is with Kumo.com.
Okay.
Kumo, Kumo. It aggregates all of the listings from Biz by Sell and all the other ones.
Okay.
But it's still so decentralized.
It is somewhat decentralized, but I think they're the best. Kumo's the best for on market that I found. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, that's what I've heard. I used to only use Biz by Sell. A lot of people told me lately Kumo has actually been better because it has everything in it. But
it's like $100 a month. It's relatively expensive for like somebody who's just starting out.
Sure.
But somebody like you and us, like you and I had $120 a steak this afternoon.
We did.
That's on market. That's on market.
Yes. On market.
Also, for on market, 100%. For off market, I would start with the Google. And then there are things that cost like thousands and thousands of dollars a year that you could buy that will give you a lot more, but it's not needed unless you're just doing it on a big scale.
Okay. So is it smart, because it sounds like you have a layered strategy for outreach, which a lot of people actually don't do in real estate as much. You're using the letters, the phone calls, the in-person on
LinkedIn,
each. So you're
social
doing
medias, posting on your own.
So is it smart for you to just use a phone approach, for example, or just use a letter approach?
No, I would never use one approach because, everything works, and exponentially when you do everything put together. So, I figured for me, the letters work the best, but I still get deals every other way. So why not do it?
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah. Your cold call. How'd you find that one?
That one came from a sub-2 student, actually.
Oh, okay. Wow. Got it.
Referral.
Yeah. So I'm
I should just assume that everything just comes from somebody inside the community.
It's amazing.
It's just like, what do I need? The one thing that we haven't been able to find in the community is Kevin Cho, a wife. That's it.
And Alexis, a husband.
Oh, he's there.
He's out there. Are you going to Puerto Rico?
I'm not.
You should, because there's some Hispanic people out there.
There's Latinos in Puerto Rico
that I need to be on.
No,
I mean, it sounds like.
Don't go. It's
you travel every week somewhere.
I know.
Yeah, I was like, I want to be with my team.
Yeah, Atlanta is just a special place. You probably miss it a little bit, right?
Yeah. I like it.
All right. Well, okay, Asher, give me one question, brother. Something that you're interested in. Pace, what are your thoughts on working with business brokers? my feeling about business brokers is the same I feel about real estate brokers. I think there's a reason why they call them brokers, because they're broker than the average human being. I was talking to Lindsay Ellenwood today. I did 5 interviews with sub 2 students today. Lindsay Ellenwood just bought a UPS store, 0% seller financed. And here's how it went. Very similar to every broker I work with in real estate. She calls the area manager that's in charge of all the UPS stores, and she says, hey, I'm going to buy this guy's business. I need to get approved because he's like the UPS corporate person. He approves her. Okay, you got to go through these steps, blah, blah, blah. She then goes and gets approved to buy it with a lender. She goes back to the deal and finds out that interest rates are going to rise, and she missed her window. So she goes to the area manager and says, hey, I'm not going to be able to get approved for this. Do you think the seller would seller finance the property, or I'm sorry, the UPS store to me? Broker says what?
Of course not. They're not going to. No way they're going to do it.
No way they're going to do that. Why would they do that? Why would they do that?
Yeah.
So Lindsay's super smart. So what she does, she goes, okay, I'm going to get qualified from the lender, and I'm going to just open escrow, and then I'm going to figure out how to get the seller's information, and I'm going to go and stop by and talk to the seller. Mm-hmm. She goes and stops by, talks to the seller. He goes, hey, would you seller finance this to me? He goes, yeah. Would you do it at 0%? Yeah, just let's bump it. Let's add $30,000 to the purchase price, and I'll give you 0% seller finance. Oh. So she just bought a UPS store that will net her $11,000 a month on day one. Yep.
Wow.
It is not being managed properly. The guy bought it to retire, and he's just chilling, never shows up. The people that are work for the UPS store, they're not selling. They're not doing promotional items like t-shirts and printing and notary services. There's just so many things they're not doing. And I'm sitting there going, dude, you could have lost the deal if you just believed what that broker said.
Yeah. Almost every business is bought on owner finance. Like when when you're buying properties, for every property out there, there's 100 people calling to try to buy that property. It's not like that for businesses. For every 100 businesses out there, there's one person trying to buy a business. So like there's 99 businesses that never even get a call. Or they have no shot.
They just shut down, or they try and gift them, or they're just like, all right, we're just going to close our doors.
93% of businesses over the last couple of years on the market
just shut down.
Get sold. Never gets 92, 93%.
So what's happening to them? What's happening?
They get shut down. They close their doors. They liquidate, which
they let go of their employees.
Yeah, let go of their employees, or someone smart enough to go in there and make them a creative deal that gets it.
There was a solar company just a couple of months ago that was a couple miles down the road. They let go of 100 people, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, they're doing a layoff. Oh my gosh, they're doing a layoff. You know what it ended up being? They were just shutting their business down. Yep. They couldn't find a buyer. Yep. Nobody, they were just like broke.
Someone goes in there with a creative deal, they're definitely going to sell it.
Yeah, it's do an annuity deal where you get a check every single month. Yeah. Why would they have closed the business down?
Yeah.
They had 100 employees that went out of work now because that company didn't sell on seller finance.
Yep. And it's going to mess with their head forever, the rest of their life, because they're like, now they feel like they're losers. They have to fire all these people they probably, liked, a lot of them. They're going to tell their friends they have to shut their business down. If they could have just sold it on a creative, they could have told their friends, look, I sold my business. All my employees, I still have a job. The business is there. I have a good reputation. It's going to be there forever, even after I'm gone, But instead, they have to shut it down because they probably have some knucklehead broker that told the sellers, oh, he's not going to do it. And then what happens? They have to shut it down.
Which is tough. And I think like in the business world, Abraham's going to be a big part of this. Is like, I think we have to change the brokers' minds, which I think in the last 3 years on the real estate side, we've amplified brokers and agents' willingness to do creative finance by at least a 20% margin. Like there's 20% more agents that are like, yes, I'll at least pitch it. Whereas 3 years ago, it wasn't even a thing. Right. So it's easier now with creative finance and real estate to do it. But I think business has a long way to go. Creative finance is definitely a thing in business, but the broker standing in the way is still a problem.
All right. Yeah. I'm market again. How do you get the best deals and creative deals in real estate? You go direct to the seller. You talk to the seller. You build that rapport. It's the same thing in business. It's even more, but you got to get that good rapport. They'll do it. They just got to trust you. They got to know that you're going to take care of their employees. You got to know that you're going to take care of their customers. You got to know that you're going to pay them, that you're reputable. But if you can't talk to them, you have to go through a broker. It's very hard to get those deals done.
All right. Asher, last question. We'll let Asher get to bed. It's 9:00. He's like, dude, I wanted to hang out in my bed and scroll through Instagram and Asher, what's the thing that people do nowadays? Is it Instagram or TikTok? TikTok. All right.
I just bought a TikTok channel from someone that
That's
we're
such
actually
a
going to
cool
go partners on. It
Oh,
has 1.2 million subscribers or whatever they're called on TikTok.
Really?
And yeah, we're going to transition over next year to where it's like all of us on it. Because I never built a big TikTok.
I had the opportunity to buy one with 9 million.
9 million.
Yeah, I didn't do it. I talked to a couple like
Mm.
people. They said it's not worth it.
Well, you have to keep the person on and keep the same content for a while and then kind
And
of
then
add you in a little
transition it.
bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
over a year or so.
Asher, what do you like? What question do you like, bro? Asher's like, I have something to admit to you. I don't know
Put
how to
up here.
read.
Where do you
I'm not
go
reading
get
any of
private
this.
money? Oh, where do you go get private money partners that are legit?
Sub 2, Gator,
Isn't there a website?
PaceandAbraham.com.
Literally.
But yeah, I mean, join our community. It's funny, like the second you join our community, you don't ever, nobody in our communities asks, where do I find private capital? They ask the question of who wants to lend on this specific deal. But the question of where do I find private capital goes away once you're in our community.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's I mean, when we do a Zoom on it, like literally there's 100 people in the chat. I want to lend money. I want to lend money. Like, show me your deal. Now you have to show people your deal, show them that it's safe, show them how they're going to make money and, all that.
Yeah.
But if the deal makes sense, there's somebody that wants to do. There's so many people with so much money in there.
Yeah, guys, for sub 2 students, probably in about 60 days, I plan on having either Alexis or one of our other acquisition people on the business side go live 5 days a week in the Zero Down program. It's for sub 2 students only, and they're just going to go. Are you afraid of going live?
Absolutely not.
Well,
love
you're
going
like
live.
you're like I'm going to be paid
live right now.
$50 an hour. No, I'm talking about like you're calling sellers on businesses that I'm buying.
That's absolutely fine.
Okay, so sub 2 students, you guys will have access to that at probably in 60 days. We're still formulating certain things. So just FYI, we will be doing joint implementation 5 days a week, probably 2 hours every single day. It might be, who knows, maybe it'll be somebody on Quijano's team. I don't know. We'd love to you should get an acquisition guy. We'll put him on Zero Down, just freaking
Do it. 1,000%.
So Abraham, this is a good question for you, my brother.
When you reach out to businesses to buy, do you focus on a certain outreach strategy depending on the location? Like if it's in Miami, you call more, or if it's in Orlando, do you mail more? So what I've found is that my strategies for outreach kind of works the same all across the whole country. So I do a little bit of everything everywhere, and I track it. I have like a spreadsheet I use. And what I've noticed is my letters work way better than everything else. Now my letters are kind of unique.
Unique. Are you kidding me? You spray shit smell on a plumber like a.
Yeah.
Do you know about this?
Yeah, he was telling me he has a lady that does it.
Homeboy will go, oh, I want to buy a plumber, so he'll make like hundreds of toilet envelopes.
That's the best.
And then when people open it and it makes a fart sound and puffs fart in their face, it says, and then the letter says, "Is your business total shit?"
Pretty much something like that. But you know what? It gets everyone's attention to get the letter. It gets everyone to open it. Yeah, I have like 100 different things I do with letters. That
It's so genius, and I've seen them, and it's so smart.
Any type of business. We're buying tree companies right now, and they're shaped like trees. They smell like trees. We have funny things that they say all over them that it's gonna make the person like laugh and be
and
like,
actually open it.
Yeah. So they're gonna almost every single letter we send out gets open for sure because it makes people so curious. It's crazy. But but going back to that question, like literally, I send letters out. I do a LinkedIn strategy. I do cold calling, and after I send letters, I call to check up on the letters. But what I've noticed is that pretty much no matter what part of the country we're in, the same strategies work. That work in one place work about the same everywhere else. Now, if I'm buying certain types of businesses, I might add like Spanish to it instead of just English. But maybe in Miami, I would add a little bit more Spanish to something, or depending on what the business is. But 100%, I noticed, and I keep really good track of that. So yeah, once you have something that works, it works.
Mm-hmm. Asher, anything else that you want to pop up there? Are you ready to lock it up for the night?
Joel up here.
Joel up there.
Oh, Joel. Okay, Joel. All right. Are mismanaged properties, especially tired landlords, both agent broker method for single family homes, multifamily homes, have more leverage when it comes to creative finance because they love cash flow? Noticed most like cash flow. Yeah. This is such a Joel. If you know Joel,
What's so funny?
I don't.
I'm like,
I feel
is
like
this
he had to
just so
answer
you
this
know,
about the
just so you know, guys, I do this for a living. So like, I can decipher. I have a deciphering.
I understand it.
You understand it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you got to be a
You
little
lost
bit.
me halfway through.
You got to be a little bit crazy to understand some
all
of
right.
Joel's questions. So he's basically asking, like, hey, are these people, these tired landlords, a lot more willing to do creative finance because they love cash flow? The answer is yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, that honestly, Joel, there's so many reasons why people sell to you on seller finance. One of the biggest reasons, when you start making a crap ton of money, the one thing you hate more than anything is taxes.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, I just made $1 million and I got to pay 400 grand to taxes. So they don't want to pay taxes. And when you sell a property for cash and it's not a property you lived in the last 2 out of the last 5 years, you're going to have capital gains tax that's significant, minimum 30%, usually upwards of like 40%. So how would you like to see your property go up in value over 5 years, but then 40% of that value goes to Uncle Sam that goes and just gives the money to, foreign countries that don't do anything for us, right? So you watch the government mismanage your money and spend it horribly or just print money like crazy. You just get to a point where you're like, I don't want to pay taxes. And so a lot of these sellers are savvy sellers and they go, like, look at Mario. Homeboy don't need to make any money. He's like, oh, dude, I'll be dead by the time you pay me, but my son will receive the payments. I just don't want to pay the taxes. So yes, the answer is absolutely yes. Asher, you want to pick a couple of other ones? Tim says, just because I'm a realtor, where do I start finding rentals and how do I get the financing? I am 23 and I want a fourplex as my first property. So, Tim, you are on a podcast right now called Get Creative. We literally just went through multiple different stages and phases of buying all sorts of different types of assets and real estate. Everything we buy is with subject to seller finance or some combination of those two things. So go on my YouTube channel. I just had one of my YouTube videos from a couple months ago hit 125,000 views, which is really big for a creative finance video. And it says full flow of a subject to deal. Go watch that. Learn that, one, if you're a real estate agent, don't do that anymore. Okay. You're not going to get wealthy by being a real estate agent. There are benefits to being a real estate agent, but real estate agents, they look on the MLS and they go through and they're like, oh man, I got to get money to buy that. Learn creative finance, learn how to pitch terms, learn how to onboard properties, be a part of a community of people that are doing deals like this. I have not bought a property with cash except for that horrible OnlyFans homeless one in like 5 years.
Really?
Yeah. I buy a lot of cash for flips, but for my portfolio,
right.
no.
100%. I buy a lot.
Yeah.
I buy crazy amounts of cash deals every month for flips in Atlanta.
Right.
But I would never buy one to hold. So, basically, if he doesn't know owner finance or doesn't understand it or doesn't understand creative, connect with someone in the chat that is in sub 2 that understands it and partner, because literally I've seen so many people out of sub 2 that made so much money partnering with other people in the chat and vice versa. There's so many people in sub 2 that made a lot of money, including me and you, Alexis, by other people that are not in sub 2 sending us deals, and that we were able to close together and make a lot of money on it. So
yeah, one of the biggest reasons why I've always done this podcast live was to let the sub 2 students in the side chat communicate with the non-sub 2 students to do deals with them.
Yeah.
Always.
And you have another Facebook group that has like 110,000 members.
110,000 members. I've always kept that Facebook group at 10 times the size of what I will allow sub 2 to grow. It's always, every time I let a sub 2 student into sub 2, I let 10 people into the free Facebook group. So it's always a 1 sub 2 student for every 10 free student, or they're not students, but free group people. So every 1 student has 10 people that they can do deals with.
How many deals get done in that group? It's crazy.
Thousands.
So let's take his question to like part 2. So part 1, obviously creative finance. If he knows how to do it, great. If he doesn't know how to do it, what else? If he doesn't know creative finance, doesn't want it, if the seller doesn't want, is there a way for him to get a loan like a hard money loan or DSR loan.
Yeah,
for-
he could get a DSCR loan. But like, this is how easy it is to buy a deal. If you're just like, I want to buy a rental, great. Go to a sub-2 student that's buying deals, me, you, thousands of others, and go, yo, like Kevin, like look, Quijano wholesale sub-2 deals all the time. Why not go to Quijano and say, can I buy one of your next sub-2 deals? He'll go, yeah, no problem. And then as a new person, you're like, yeah, but how do I buy it? Like, how do I pay his finder's fee? Private money. There's a sub-2 student that will probably do private money for you and maybe partner with you on the deal. It's so easy that it's basically smacking you in the face and you're like, it can't be that easy. So hold my beer while I complicate it. It's not complicated. It's very, very simple. Okay. Maj asks, at what point do most people start worrying about taxes? I'm thinking somewhere around the 250 income tax bracket, bro.
Every tax bracket.
Every tax bracket. 250. I'm allergic to paying taxes. Like, are you kidding me? Now, here's the thing. Think about how much Abraham owns in real estate and how much I own in real estate. We pay so much money in taxes. Property taxes are significant. I've got one property in Atlanta. I pay like 25 grand a year in property taxes. I've got multiple properties in Texas that I'm paying 20 grand a year on. My multifamily properties are hundreds of thousands of dollars. Guys, we pay a lot of taxes on property taxes and consumption tax. Consumption tax means I go and buy something. I pay a 9% sales tax. I do pay taxes. I don't like to, but I don't want to pay federal income tax. And the way that I don't do that is I buy real estate. So Maj, think about this. Income tax bracket at 250. Does anybody know what that is? Pull it up, Alexis. Do some homework for me.
It's significant.
I bet you 250. I'm thinking you're somewhere around 30%.
I think more.
You think so?
I think so.
I think at 400, you hit the 40% mark is what I think, which is crazy.
It's really significant at 250.
Yeah. I mean, think about this. Okay. What's the tax bracket at 250?
From 250 to 340, you're paying 24%.
That's federal income tax. So 25% of that. What is that? That's $75,000. Okay. You want to see how fast 70 Maj, if you're making 250 in your carpet cleaning business, you've got $75,000 you're paying to that tax man. Couldn't you use that same exact $75,000 to buy 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 sub-2 deals? Not 6, probably 4 or 5 sub-2 deals. You would only need 2 sub-2 deals to wipe out your entire income. 2. So it's crazy to me that somebody would rather pay 75 grand to the IRS than buy 2 sub-2 deals or 2 seller finance deals. It's crazy. Insane. Why? Every email I have with my family office right now or my CPA is, you need to buy right now. I have 4 months to buy $30 million in real estate. Otherwise, I'm paying taxes.
Wow.
These are calculations that people that are making money are doing. In fact, as I make more money, I find more ways to avoid taxes every step of the way.
Totally legally.
Yeah. What is the best way to utilize a unicorn agent? I have one that wants to participate heavily in creative finance world. Christopher Arabi, good question. I would have your unicorn agent find deals for you, pull things off the MLS. Go back to what we talked about with Alexis. Go get a real estate agent that will go pull things off the MLS, 4plex, 6plex, 8plex, 12plex, turn those into pad splits, pitch seller finance on your behalf, but they have MLS access. If you're a unicorn agent, one of the biggest things that you bring a value is MLS access. The one in green that paid us, who is that? I can't see it, Asher. Click on it. Joseph paid us $5. That's amazing, bro. That sucks. Now I got to pay 40% tax on that $5.
You got to buy a house.
Yeah, you got to buy more property.
I got to buy more property. Hello, just starting the wholesale journey. What is the best way to wholesale a sub-2? And is Los Angeles a good place to wholesale? Ask Christian Hernandez if Los Angeles is a good place to do sub-2. Quijano, how do I wholesale a sub-2 deal?
First, you got to find buyers, right?
You're telling me there's an assignment involved? Like it's just like a cash assignment?
100%. A buyer who is going to buy a sub 2 deal so they can put in their portfolio is going to have an entry fee. And part of that entry fee should include how much they're paying you for doing the work of finding them the deal.
I love it. Okay, cool. Ashley, let's do one more and we'll wrap it up. I know we've been going 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Holy crap.
Okay, does the seller still have to pay capital gains on if they agree to do seller finance? I have a prospective deal now, duplex FISBO, retired realtor who wants. I love that even a retired realtors hate FISBOs so much. It's ironic that this realtor retired as a realtor and then sold his house on FISBO. So good. Who wants max cash because he says he still needs to pay capital gains? I'd love to partner with someone to help me explain it to him. I need a sub 2 buddy. Facebook user, here's step 1. Change your damn name.
Yeah.
Okay. Marketing, branding. You know what's interesting? I was watching this interview. You should watch this. Okay. Write this down.
Okay.
Graham Stephan just interviewed Papa John's owner. Papa John's owner. We were talking about this yesterday on your podcast.
Mm-hmm.
He says, the way I got into pizza is my father was running a bar that was in debt $20,000 and they were struggling to make money. And the son, Papa John's, says, hey, Dad, let me take over this bar and I'll turn this around in 30 days. And his dad goes, what the hell are you going to do that I couldn't figure out? Papa John's goes, well, first step is put a sign above the door. Not joking. That was literally, it took him from 3,000 pizzas a month to 9,000 pizzas a month just by putting a sign on the door.
Wow.
So marketing is important, my friend. If your name is Facebook user, tell your mom she should not have named you that. That's not a great name.
Weird.
Okay. That's really weird that your mom chose that name, Facebook user, whatever your last name is. Okay. Second step is find a sub 2 student. Don't find somebody, guys. Do you know if I should do a whole YouTube video about the people that go on my YouTube channel and they come back to me and they go, hey, I did a sub 2 deal and I had the due on sale clause called on me. Like, why did you do a sub 2 deal just for my YouTube channel? Why didn't you partner with a sub 2 student? Well, I thought I could do it myself. Typical YouTube people. You're going out of your way to save yourself money. You're going out of your way to save yourself from making friends with people who are experienced. Go partner with an actual sub 2 student, a bona fide sub 2 student, not somebody that's on my YouTube. Okay. You're going to get the due on sale clause called on you. You're going to fail. They're going to point you down the wrong direction. They're going to tell you to wire money to them instead of a title company. You're going to get scammed. Okay. Go and work with a sub 2 student directly. Ashley, are you looking for one last one? How many times have I said one last one, Alexis?
5.
If you don't yawn at least one more time, then
I have an idea for a get creative in the future, whenever it could be in a while. Hooking up sub 2 students with other sub 2 students, because Munif and Love is like the best story ever.
You're talking about like mating,
because like
not dating, mating.
I mean, literally,
yeah.
like literally, you have now a sub 2 baby.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think, you're talking about Kevin and we're talking about Alexis. Like, how many other people are there out there, and how many people?
A lot.
Instead of doing the closers competition,
we were at
like a dating.
We need to do a get creative
community camp. Community camp. 2 groups of people hooked up.
Yeah.
2 groups
really?
of people.
Not groups of people, like male, female, female, another male and female that came and they ended up hooking up.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Nice.
We need to get Kevin and Alexis.
Okay, so sorry. Yes, the seller does not pay capital gains on money that they have not received. They pay capital gains on money they receive. So the great thing about seller finance is that you spread the capital gains over all those years of them receiving that money. The beautiful thing is if you're charging interest, the interest will outweigh the capital gains that they end up paying. Also, as you spread out the capital gains, let's say that I receive $10,000 of that next year, and I have a capital gains of 40% of my $10,000, I got a $40,000 tax bill. Well, what if I have other write-offs and other losses on other businesses or other real estate? It wipes out my capital gains for that individual year. There's so many amazing strategies to utilize. You can legally avoid the capital gains or offset the capital gains by stretching it out over many, many years. Okay. we've gone longer than I've gone in probably 2 years on this podcast. So we are going to wrap it up, guys. This was awesome. The comments were blowing up the whole entire night. Thank you guys so much. Give Asher some love. We still got 700 people watching live. Ended up having about 950 people live. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much to our community that's always helping other people outside of the community. Alexis Morgan, where can a Hispanic gentleman that has a has a little mustache reach out to you?
Instagram is the best way to reach me, or Facebook.
Okay, what's that Instagram?
Alexis J Morgan with 2 N's. ALEXIS.
Okay, great. Quijano,
Yep.
couple of things I think you're working on for this year.
Yep.
I know that you've got a sales training that's going to be coming out pretty soon.
Yep.
And you also, we've been brainstorming on something for about 1.5 years, but I think it should happen this year.
I agree.
Is an internal closers Olympics for our community only.
Yep. I agree.
And end up doing it in person at Abraham Gray's 15,000 square foot house.
It's a big house. Yeah, I think so. For my course, I'm pre-launch is rolling out within the next week or so. I've already having conversations for some of the founders that are going to be launching early. I want to, you set the bar really high on how to teach people how to do stuff. So I got to follow very carefully in your footsteps.
When you came along, I stopped teaching sales.
Really? I guess I never noticed.
When's the last time you saw me teach sales?
That's true.
I cleared the path and I said, here you go. This is yours.
Yep.
I don't want to be the number one closer. That's your job.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's a Santa thing.
I guess
it is a Santa thing.
Well, and I want to create a bunch of other people, right? It's all about communication. What you did today with that call with that person was much bigger than sales. It was about relationships. It was about understanding human beings.
Right.
And that's what I want to teach, because that's how you win at scale. I don't want to teach people how to close deals. I want to teach people how to never lose one. Right. And the way you do that is by learning this stuff. So yes, that's going to be coming out very, very soon. And then of course this big competition, we used to do them. We did them for years.
Yeah, they're so fun.
And I really want to do it at scale. I think maybe we do the first couple of rounds will be, over the internet, but the finalists, we'll do an in-person all day, just go crazy.
At Abraham's house.
At Abraham's
Atlanta.
mansion.
Come on.
Yeah, Rick Ross is going to be there.
We're in Buckhead. Yeah. We got a lot of cool people right around my house. So yeah.
Oh yeah, bro. You got the best spot. Quijano, how can people touch base with you?
Daniel.theq is my Instagram.
Daniel.theq.
Yep. And then danieltheq.com is where you can register to get info on the course as it comes out. And it has all of my social media, all of the different things there as well. And you can even send us deals and we can try to close those for you too.
Like that. Abraham, what do you got? You trying to buy more businesses? What are you trying to do? Lend more money?
I'm trying to buy a lot of cash deals in Atlanta, actually, for fix and flips.
Really?
That's what I'm like. Yeah, I have a ton of those every single month now. The real estate market has picked up a lot lately over the last 4 months.
Yep.
So we've seen like a big uptick. So I'm always looking for more cash deals. Of course, creative deals all over the country that we could partner together on.
Yep.
Businesses and tons of transactional loans and EMD loans and weird loans, as you call it.
What about businesses?
Businesses, yes, of course, businesses.
What kind of business would you?
I'm most interested in businesses in the Atlanta area that
tree trimming.
Yeah, tree trimming. Yeah.
You just gobbled up a really good deal recently.
Yeah. We're looking to get some more. But yeah,
there's a few trees in Atlanta.
There's more trees in Atlanta.
Like
than
if you're
country put together.
Bro, it's
really
crazy. Oh, you never been to Atlanta?
You can't even
no, never been there.
There's trees everywhere.
It is literally my favorite city. I love that city.
Better than Albuquerque?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have trees there.
That's true.
Y'all don't have trees. You guys are very similar to us.
Yeah, we have cacti.
You have cacti, yeah. Their trees are unbelievable. You can't see 10 feet into the tree line. It's so thick.
The whole thing is trees. Yeah, it's just trees. It's a jungle.
That's crazy.
It is a jungle, and you got these ivies that are climbing up these trees and taking and killing the. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. So he just bought a tree cutting down company.
Yeah. We're still in the process. We're close.
That is a crazy good deal.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that one. We'll talk about that one on one of the Get Creatives in the future. Asher, do you see the button up in this right hand corner that says get or end broadcast up there? Hey guys, as Asher presses the button, we just want to let you guys know we hope you have a great night. See you later.
Peace.
Love you out.
Find a girl for Kevin Cho.